Arr, matey. It's time for doubloons out here at the Lone Star Street Rod Association.
Guys, you sound like an Irish zombie.
We're coming to you live today from Granbury, Texas.
Come for your daughter, Chuck.
It's the In Real Time Car Talk Show, and I'm kind of gravelly today, pardon me. Just ahead, we talk more of the participants in the weekend's happenings here at Hewlett Park in Granbury. Had a chance to drive the new Kia Seltos. I'll give you my thoughts on it, and don't laugh, I like the car. We'll also have the cruise-in calendar, and later this hour, we'll have Today in Auto History. It's all just ahead in this hour of the In Real Time Car Talk Show. Howdy, along with Mike Out of This World Mars, King Conrad DeLong. We need more Jeff Zekin is over here.
Yep.
And sitting next to him is the fabulous and famous David Ainsley. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us today.
We're glad you showed up. We wish you'd have brought your voice with you.
I know. I'm sorry about that.
Forgot it. He was in a hurry to leave.
Right.
Forgot it.
So I have the pleasure of introducing right now to everybody Ronnie Austin. He's the owner of this fine 1940 Chevy panel truck.
Delivery.
Panel delivery.
Who sold that?
I don't know.
Gary. Blame Gary.
Gary.
We're blaming Gary on everything.
Okay.
Gary,
A panel
where are you?
has two doors.
Then where's the pen?
You said
F.
the panel has two doors?
Two rear doors. Also, it's about 5-6 inches taller.
Okay.
The delivery has a single rear door, and it's shorter.
Something else I learned today.
So this has not been chopped.
No.
This is a delivery.
Delivery.
A
Sedan
40
delivery.
Chevy. So would this be considered kind of in the suburban family?
No, I think it's, what I understand, it's a delivery, but it's made for the salesman to go sell.
Yeah.
The panel is actually made for deliveries. So they got them backwards. And we found this up in Wichita Falls, and there's a pretty good story behind it. So.
Well,
tell us
you're going to tell us the
tell us
story,
the
I hope.
About 2.5 years ago, I have a sister that lives in Wichita Falls. And was going through motorhome one day, and I looked over, and there was a place called Lone Star Muscle Cars owned by Ernie McConnell. And beautiful place, all kinds of cars, nice ones. I told my wife, I'm going to pull in here just for a second. Well, 3 hours later.
And she knitted
door.
an entire shirt for you while you were inside watching.
And when she stayed in the motorhome, the air conditioner going, I walked in, went boom, wham, there it was right there. It caught my eye 100%, and I went and looked at it. And like I said, I got the drool off of it before he showed up.
Yeah.
So anyway, I just basically fell in love with it. And Ernie come in, and at the time I was retired, and when you retire early on Social Security, there's not much. And he said, there it is, how much? And I said, I just can't do it right now. Just can't. He said, why don't you put up a small deposit, a couple $100, and we'll hold it for 30, 40 days and see what you can do. And I said, whatever. Anyway, I got called out of retirement to go back to Sweetwater to supervise a job on a big sheetrock plant out there. And I kind of forgot about the deposit. And, 5-6 weeks went by and was going back up to see my sister again. And I was sitting in the car thinking, well, I need to go by and tell Ernie just keep that money for his time in trouble. I can't do it right now. And during the meantime, my wife's sitting over texting, I thought, to the grandkids. Well, couldn't find out it was Ernie. So we pulled in. She kept saying, no, you don't have to go by. I'll take care of it. I said, no, I got to go by a person and say I'm sorry, blah, blah, blah. So I went in there, and Ernie wasn't there, and the car was gone. I thought, well, she'd already told him to forget it, and he sold it. So anyway, I thought, oh, well, whatever. Maybe one of these days. Well, he come walk down the back, and I said, Ernie, I'm here to apologize and all this, keep the deposit and whatever. He goes, well, I was going to put it toward the purchase of the car. And I stood there a minute trying to look at my wife, and, excuse me, she's surprised at yours.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. How
I just,
cool is that?
tears
God.
come, and I thought, my God,
Yeah.
It's in the back getting prepped for me to take delivery of it.
Wow.
And there's, a little
That
more
is
to it.
how
That was
cool.
a basic deal. And that's how we ended up with it.
What did it look like then?
Do what?
What did it look like then?
98 to 99% of what it is right now.
Okay.
I've done
Oh, wow.
minor stuff to it, very
Fantastic.
minor. He put the Austin 40 on it for us. And I've had a few little heating issues, which the guy was just here before me. He showed me how to take care of it with a special radiator system and shroud that he bought from, I think it's Cooling Concepts, I believe he told me. So I got to do that. With the air conditioner on today, this afternoon, it's going to go to 210, 215, just like that.
Well, and shrouding an air conditioner, people
don't realize how important that is because it creates the airflow. It pulls the air through correctly, and it's not just the shrouding. It's also damming up the sides of it so that the air that you're pulling doesn't bleed out the sides, and then you don't get enough coming over the radiator.
I've got about between the back of the radiator and the front of the bolts on the
condenser.
water pump, I got about that much room.
Oh my gosh!
Tight.
Yeah.
But I think I can make it work.
Well, cool.
Anyway, years back, I used to run a couple of drag cars for back in the 70s and 80s. 23 altered for a while. It run about 160.
Oh
It was a
gosh.
good car. Then
That had to be a scary ride.
Well, when you let go of the trans brake button, it felt like a Greyhound bus hit you in the back. Boom, it's gone. Anyway, after about 4 or 5 engines, I said, that's enough of that. Bank count went, whoo.
Yeah.
Anyway, quit that. For years, I didn't do nothing except just work. Then I built a couple of home-built airplanes for a while, and got married, and my wife I have now, and it's been like 16 and a half years last month. Wonderful, wonderful lady. I wouldn't have this without her. Anyway, then I bought a couple of Model Ts, had a Model T pickup. Then I found a Model T 1-ton truck. Restored the pickup, but the truck I found was 100% original. Didn't do anything to it except get it to run in and drive it. Found it down in a place called Cristobal in a barn,
Oh, really?
and it was 100%.
Wow.
It took me about 2 days to get it running.
So your 40 panel. No, delivery. Delivery. It's closed off from the back.
No, it's open all the way.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
it's got high back
screen
buckets
down
there.
or something?
Just high back seats.
Okay, okay.
Recaro seats are in there.
Yeah, you just can't see
I just can't
again.
Yeah.
I was going to say
He's
that
blind.
probably works good for the air conditioning system.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, it's beautiful.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Everybody says the color combination everybody likes because it's different. You got reds, you got blacks, dark grays, and it just
Pops with the
But-
green and the
and
white.
the white just really stands out, particularly in a bright sunshiny day like today. It just really shines.
And what's the powertrain?
it's a 350 horse crate motor. It's got a 700R with a 4.9 inch with a 350 gear.
Okay.
It does about 17 miles a gallon at 65 miles an hour.
That's awesome. That's
75, it drops big time.
Well,
it gets
doesn't
thirsty
everything.
when you get up
Yeah.
there.
You're not from New York or Minnesota or something, are you?
West Texas.
I'm just trying to pick up on the accent. I didn't know.
Oh, yeah, West Texas, you can tell.
Dry, hot. But no, we found Granbury about 6.5 years ago. I had a ticker problem and had to retire early.
Yeah.
And I got lucky. I had a 208, 114 blood pressure, and they did a stent, and I've been perfect ever since. But we found Granbury and just actually fell in love with it. And
Y'all, do you live here now?
we live here, about 8
nice.
miles out.
So they brought the car show to you.
Do what?
They brought the car show to you.
Yeah, I had no idea what was here until we moved here. And
Yeah.
I was downtown, coming in downtown by Acton, and I was in my pickup, and I heard this rattling come up behind me, or beside me there. I looked over, and there's a guy about 130 years old sitting behind a wheel of a 55
Was his name
gas.
Don Armstrong by any chance?
Might have been. But an old-style 60s gasser. Patina paint. I mean, it wasn't paint. It was that way.
Yeah.
Rusted down, does signs on it. 8 injectors sticking through the hood. And this guy had to be in his hundreds. Had to be. And he's sitting there like this with a little bitty hat on. I looked over and went like that, and he boop a little bit. But, a little bit.
It's in all of us.
Yeah.
I've never seen the car again. So I'm sure it's out of a pecan plantation out here somewhere. There's a lot of cars here. I just couldn't believe it when we got out and started roaming around. But I drive this one almost every day.
Do you really?
It's not ever been on a trailer since I've had it. I've been to Wichita Falls 3 or 4 times. I've been out to Sweetwater. I've been Event. Of course, Cleveland. Going to past us next weekend.
Do you own a trailer?
No,
He drives it.
I drive it.
I just wanted to check. Make sure.
I don't believe in. If you're going to trailer one, to me, they need to be over here. The ones you drive every day need to be over
Right,
here.
on the road, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it looks like it could be trailered. It's spotless. It's beautiful.
Well, it's got some rock chips in the front.
Right,
Try to
so
touch
it's
it.
all
You
right.
know,
Can't avoid that. And the wheel package really fits the car well.
yeah. They're
You
hard
know.
to polish. There's water spots on them I can't get rid of. They're fixed to get changed. So
What are you gonna
How
do?
big are those?
the
They're
front ones are about 10 inches wide. The back ones I think are about 13.
Yeah, but aren't they like 18s?
They
I mean,
could 18s in
I
the
think-
front, 19s in the back.
18s and 19s I think, something like that. I have to go look. I can't remember.
What are
too
you
many.
gonna put on it? What are you gonna change it to?
Just different rims. Something maybe a little more shiny to them. Those I polish on those all the time. That's the best I can do. It just they
You
won't
need
come out.
some-
Something less
chrome.
less maintenance.
Yeah.
We know where there's a chrome shop in Houston.
We
Well,
do.
he don't do wheels though.
Oh, he
That's- I
doesn't
forgot.
do wheels.
I did find out on American Racing Wheels, the rim part of it is a different material than the spokes. So
Is it really?
They say you got to use two different polishes. I didn't know that.
And they probably
No.
sell both of them.
Yeah,
Because it looks like it's all one piece.
they're not.
Over there.
You take them off and look at them, you can see the difference. And I had no idea until I talked to them. So
When
Again,
you
learn
polish them,
something
did you
new.
polish them with a machine, a
I've
drill
done
or something?
I've done everything.
Yeah,
I even use chemical guys,
yeah.
spot remover.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah.
They're pretty old.
Are they?
Yeah.
Yeah. How about the tires? Tires old too?
Not really. They're probably about 4 years old.
Oh, okay, so you got
They're
some.
good shape. Yeah.
Yeah. This car here.
That was at the hotel last
Yes,
night.
it was. That's
Beautiful.
that really. Do you know this guy?
Mhm.
Do you?
There's some beautiful cars here.
They
You need to
really
walk off over here and look at this 55 210. Not the blue one here is beautiful too, but there's one over there that's black with metallic red.
I saw the black one.
Oh my God, that thing is
It's
unreal.
breathtaking.
The
There's some-
57 is the one that we saw that was by us.
Yep.
Yeah. That one there, is that a 64?
That's
looks
Chevelle?
Yeah,
I think
that's
so.
Chevelle, yeah.
I think it is.
That just struck
But
me.
such a wide variety of cars here, from the true street rod stuff to the mid '60s, early '70s muscle stuff that's here as well, and then the blend of the two of them. It's just fun to come to an event like this and see cars that people are. Their life is in that car.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you talk about some of the people who've built the cars themselves. Talk about your life in this because your wife secretly bought the car for you. What a killer story that
It was
is.
unreal. I just couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well-
for weeks after,
Yeah,
I just couldn't.
especially-
I'd walk outside and go.
Do you have any kids?
I got a daughter and she's got a son. We've been married like I said 16 and a half years,
Yeah.
and her son's got 5, my daughter's got 4, and we got so many grandkids. So there's a bunch of them.
Yeah. Any of them old enough to like cars like that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And they like Grandpa's car?
Mhm.
Yeah. And they have said, Grandpa, can I have the car when you're done with it?
One of them has.
Yeah.
Well, first one to ask wins.
Got to be the favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
How old is he?
24.
Oh, okay.
A weird deal happened about 4 or 5 years ago. I'm gonna get off the story a little bit, but I'm sure y'all go with some drag race at meets and everything.
We do.
In '69, my dad was with Dow Chemical. We got transferred from Sweetwater to Artesia, New Mexico. Ugh. And I worked the wrecking yard after school there, pulling parts. Well, another kid got on with me, pulling parts. Anyway, one year I moved back to Sweetwater, and we just kind of, never heard of each other again. Went to Ennis about, I guess, 4 or 5 years ago. And my wife had never been to a drag meet. So what I do, I put her behind John Forrest's funny car. Listen, it sounds nice. Of course, I backed way off,
We've all done it, so yeah.
So that was your payment for her
I
buying
laughed
it.
and laughed
Yeah.
and laughed over it. And we walked down there, and there's these 2 big black trucks. And I looked up, the picture on them I thought, that can't be him. I walked around the corner, he's standing right there. And I said, Johnny, that's you? He goes, Ronnie, that's you? I said, yeah. We got talking. Anyway, his dad was an oil field pumper back then. Back then, they made wages. Anyway, he got sick. Him and his sister took over his dad's business. Well, they built it up a little bit. The company's called Marbaugh Corporation. Well, he sold out for $111 million.
Oh my gosh!
He run at the time he's retired now, quit racing, but his 2 sons run Pro Stock. You probably recognize these names: Jonathan Gray and Shane Gray,
Oh, yeah.
and Tanner
Oh, yeah.
Gray.
Yeah.
This guy Johnny Gray,
Oh,
and
man.
we used to pull parts together.
What a great story
And
that
anyway,
is.
he sold out. The rest of it made $1.65 billion. The big B. They give money away, and his sister, Terry Chandler, Make-A-Wish,
Yes.
and a hero
Yep,
car,
yep.
run them out of their pocket.
Yep.
Great
Wow.
people, just
Yeah.
great people. But to meet somebody like that, you grew up kind of 1 year with, and just
Pulling
unbelievable.
parts in a
reconnect.
salvage yard.
And reconnect.
Isn't that funny how that all works out?
They donate to children's hospitals left and right.
Yeah.
Terry Chandler, she passed away about a year and a half ago with a
Yeah.
brain tumor.
Yeah.
And her husband run the cars up to last year, and he said, okay, he has a Learjet business. He said, I'm not going to do it anymore. So, of course, those 2 drivers now, I think they're driving part-time for other people, but then his 2 boys now running Pro Mod. His grandson's in NASCAR. And Johnny's doing nothing except enjoying life.
As
And
it
watching
should
the grandkids race.
Exactly.
There you go.
So you're going to change the name on it for the grandson that's on that vehicle?
I'm not. He can.
Okay.
He can.
That's fine. It'll come off. So anyway, Ernie come up with that idea. I wanted, beer wagon, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
He said, "No, I'll surprise you." We went to pick it up and had that on it.
Well, the first thing that I thought of was Newbaum's Pie Wagon. Are you familiar with Newbaum's Pie Wagon?
I think I've heard of it.
Hollywood Nights. I'm sure that you've probably seen that.
Don't
movie.
get him started.
Yeah.
He'll start doing the voices.
Lawrence.
Oh, no.
Lawrence
Here we
of
go.
Arabia.
Here we go.
I'm sorry.
gosh.
Save your voice.
Yeah.
Well,
Anyway,
Ronnie,
just-
we really appreciate you
Well,
coming up
thank y'all
telling
for
us
having
the
me.
story about your car. What a great story. Your wife secretly bought you that car. Now that's a
Yeah.
that's a
Has she got any sisters?
Nope.
Man,
But
God.
I love her more
next
than
time.
anything in the world.
Oh, of
I mean,
course you do.
I always wish I could get her a little more involved. She really could care less about stuff. That's what's really surprised me.
But she cares that you care.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
a
outside
big
every day
part of
messing
it.
with it. 'Cause we live in a small gated community out here. It's an RV community. When we sold our property and land out in Sweetwater, and way downsized because of this problem, decided I don't want no more acreage. I don't want no tractors. I don't want nothing.
No more maintenance.
No maintenance, no nothing.
Good for you.
And we just love it here. I mean, I'm downtown all the time. Every weekend, I'm down there in this thing. I go to the park and drink a beer or something. Everybody look at it. And it's a driver. There's a lot of stuff here way nicer, but we enjoy it and we drive it.
Do you have like Friday and Saturday night cruise-ins around here?
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah.
But, a lot of us just show up like the blue and white Chevrolet. He's down there quite often. There's
Yeah.
several of them. You never know who's going to come by.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of cars here.
Yeah.
Conant here is probably 50 of them in there if they ever bring them out.
oh wow.
How
Most
fun.
of them just sit in the garage,
Ronnie Austin, thanks so much for
Well,
coming.
thank y'all
by.
so much for having me.
Yeah, we really appreciate it. And you'll be able to find this on all the social media channels. You'll be able to see it tomorrow on, actually you can see it now, but you can see it tomorrow on YouTube.
Okay.
And you don't know anything about that, neither do I. But
Grandkids will know.
somebody tells me that you can get on YouTube and find it.
Kids
so.
will do it for us.
Exactly.
Ronnie,
Again,
thanks.
thank
Thank you
y'all
very
so
much.
much.
Beautiful
And
car.
Debbie, if you're watching this at home, I love you. Bye.
Oh, good shout out.
Thank you. All right, time now for a little car review, if I can gargle it out. Is it okay if I do that now?
Thank you.
Are you
You
ready?
better hurry because it sounds like your voice is going fast.
No, well, no. Hey, listen, it's better than it was yesterday. If you remember at dinner last night, I could barely talk.
That's true.
That was a good thing.
Yeah.
It's always a good thing, isn't it? Time now for this hour's car review.
I recently had the opportunity to drive the 2023 Infiniti QX60 Autograph all-wheel drive. Now, this is a 7-passenger vehicle from Infiniti. Comes in 4 trim levels. The Pure is the base level. The Luxe, the Sensory, and the Autograph. So we were driving the top of the line with the all-wheel drive. Now, this had a big update in 2022 and so this is the second generation. So not a lot of updates for 2023. Up front, you're going to find the adaptive front lighting with leveling, which is a really nice feature. Got the roof rails, got power folding heated side mirrors, got rain sensing wipers up front. Got a motion activated lift gate, which is real nice if you're carrying groceries or any other cargo you want to put in the back. Got a power moon roof, and it's all rolling on some nice 20-inch aluminum wheels. Now you get to the inside, you've got semi-aniline leather seating. Now the first row is heated and ventilated, and it's got a massaging feature. Both seats, really nice. The second row, we had captain's chairs with a removable console. Again, a nice touch so that if you're going down the road or you're planning on having small children in that third row and you know you're going to want to get back there, you might take that console out to make it a little bit easier to get in and out while the vehicle's moving if you need to do that. Now, also, that second row had window sunshades on the side glass, so it's another nice feature to kind of keep the sun out. And up front, you're going to find a 12.3-inch touchscreen. This is where you're going to find all your comfort controls, convenience controls, your Infiniti InTouch infotainment system, your Apple and your Android interaction with your phone, all done through this really nice big 12.3-inch screen. The driver does get a 10.8-inch heads-up display that's really nice size, easy to read, and easy to find. Now, to make all this go, up front, you're going to find a 3.5-liter V6 under the hood. This produces 295 horsepower with 270 pound-feet of torque. Now, the vehicle we had comes with a towing package, so it's rated to tow up to 6,000 pounds, even with the 9-speed automatic transmission. Now, the EPA says that you should be looking for 20 miles per gallon in the city, 25 on the highway, for a combination of 22 on the average. Now, I got 21.6 miles per gallon across the 175.4 miles that I was able to drive this vehicle during the trial period. Now, it's not a performance vehicle. It's not a race car. You're not going to go to the drag strip and run the track. You're not going to go to a road course. Really not even going to go out on a twisty highway much, because this is a luxury ride. And it's going to drive like a luxury ride. So you're not going to have this overly responsive track-like go-kart feeling whenever you're driving it. But it doesn't wallow all over the road. It's just a nice driving vehicle. Now, the base model price, which would be the pure trim level, is at $49,200 to start. Now, the base trim price for the Autograph is $62,600, and our MSRP as tested price is $68,185. So if you're looking at this vehicle and you're looking at some of the others in the category, there's a lot to choose from, but you can look at a Acura MDX, which starts out at $49,550, or you can step up to the Volvo XC90 at $56,000, and even go up another step to the Audi Q7 that starts at $59,200. So price-wise, it fits in there pretty good, because you can bump them all up by stepping up on a few options that you have on them. And it's a really nice, styled, good-looking car. Had a lot of compliments when I was driving it. So this is my review of the 2023 Infiniti QX60 Autograph all-wheel drive.
Don't even go there, because you looked at me and I knew what you were about to say.
Quick is not always good.
It's not.
He said it. I didn't.
It's not.
Just let you know.
But he,
You know, the people at Kia are going to hear this review.
Oh, boy.
but he keeps it in boost.
It keeps, yeah, well, it does if you keep it at boost.
Yep.
But I don't. You know, this is off of a stoplight or something, and the start-stop feature doesn't work that way. So it's my fault, not the car's. Ride and handling, perfectly matched for this small kid hauler and grocery getter, and that's what it is. And it gets good gas mileage. Perfect for a early starting family. It's a first vehicle. This is it. I got it.
So priced right as well.
The base trim price is $26,690.
Wow.
The base price is tested is $28,435. But if you want to get into the base model, starts at $22,590.
Oh, wow.
Boom.
So
There
your
you go.
Nightfall base price was a $28,000 car.
It starts at $26,690.
Wow.
Yeah, that's second to the highest level that they got. Competitors: Honda HR-V for $21,870, the Hyundai Kona for $21,300, and the Mazda CX-30 for $22,500. So it competes with
And
those.
they're all stylish little
They are.
sport hatches.
This is where the crux of all of the buying, the new car buying, I think will be in the next few years. And I think that they're doing themselves a service by pricing them like this. Entry-level models, still in the 20s. Granted, it's not the average price of cars. The average price of cars around 40.
44, yeah.
This is higher in content than most starting price cars. You get a lot for the money. And it does not have crank windows. Thank you for asking.
But it, like you say, that it sounds like what you would get a young couple just getting married, out of school, starting jobs, maybe starting a family.
Yep.
This sounds
is
like
it.
that kind of vehicle.
This is the car. It's rare that I get really excited about a car. And you're going, he gets excited about this? Yeah, I do. Because it's not about me. It's people that buy this particular kind of car. That's exciting. And I don't know what the availability is at the dealership. Call Kia and ask them. But the Kia Seltos.
So what kind of fuel economy did you get with it?
You weren't listening.
Oh.
I missed it too.
I got 30.5 over 402 miles.
That's pretty awesome.
It is. See?
Now I am listening.
I've got your attention, didn't I? Which is a rare thing.
Yeah, usually you got to
Usually
slap
takes
him.
a slap in the back of the head to get my
That's
attention.
right. Well, you and me both. We're both Sagittarians, remember?
All too well.
Oh, boy.
Mhm. Hey, Conrad, Don, pay attention. It's one of those kind of things.
Yes, it was.
Time now for the cruise-in calendar. And this really is kind of a cruise-in. But there is a limit as far as age is concerned. I think it's 1972 and under.
Right. And they've got, they got a good collection of the early 70s, late 60s muscle cars here. But this is really more about street rodders. And even the regular looking cars that are street rodders.
Is that a Torino over there?
It is.
Looks to be.
Yeah.
It's a nice car.
69.
I would go 69.
Yes, or 70, yeah.
So, next weekend we'll be at Tailpipes and Tacos at
Please don't forget that.
Lupe
Have we put
Tortillas.
that up every day this week
every day,
on
multiple
Facebook?
times, different places.
Not
Yes.
today.
I will get it today. Tailpipes and Tacos.
That's a great cruise-in.
Yep. And they're now giving away prizes. You can win awards. There's 3 award levels you can get.
And don't forget the gift cards.
And gift cards and stuff. So stop in next weekend at Lupe Tortillas out there at Kingsland.
So everyone here is
in
invited,
Katy.
right?
Everybody here is invited. And then Street Outlaws No Prep in Baytown is going to be June 24th. July 9th, Wheels and Warriors at the Crafty Crab in Pearland, Texas.
That's very close to the Krusty Krab.
I know.
But
Krusty
in this
Krab.
one, it's the Crafty Crab.
Yeah.
And then Saturday, July
Cousin.
9th as well, is Jeep Night at 3 Acres down in Santa Fe. So bring your Jeeps out.
At
And
where? 3 acres.
it's a shopping center in Santa Fe.
Oh, okay.
And then you're going to the Corvette Invasion at the Bastrop Convention Center
I am.
July 15th, which is about halfway here. So
In a different direction, but yes.
kind of a different direction.
Yeah.
So and that should be fun. You'll be reporting from Corvette Invasion.
Yeah, if I can get my phone to work and if I can remember to call in.
We're hoping.
Well, we may just run a repeat show that day.
And
Yeah,
then-
we talked about that. There's a
Okay.
couple of reasons, but anyway.
And that's it. That kind of gets us through July. There's always more stuff coming. We try and keep it on our Facebook page, so you can go to In Wheel Time, facebook.com/In Wheel Time, and see more information.
And you don't want to get too far out. You want to get it, within a few weeks.
Build the excitement.
Yeah. Hey, the In Wheel Time Car Show streams on iHeartRadio through the iHeartRadio app and Facebook, YouTube, and InWheelTime.com. Podcasts are available from your favorite podcast provider. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show continues right after this quick break.
Your friends and hosts of the quarterly Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In at the Lupe Tortilla in Katy want to thank you for participating in this year's events and look forward to another exciting year. You'll hear about the next Tailpipes and Tacos right here and online soon. Next time you're in West Houston, be sure and stop in at the original Lupe Tortilla Tex-Mex near I-10 and Highway 6, or the Katy location off I-10 and the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard. Traveling east to Beaumont or northwest to College Station, you'll want to have Lupe's award-winning beef fajitas and frozen margaritas. There's always a celebration at Lupe Tortilla. Lupe founder Stan Holt and his wife Sheila are car people through and through. Both are winning racers on the NHRA drag racing circuit and have a collection of cars that everyone appreciates. You'll see one at the next Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In. The next event will be in the spring at the Lupe Tortilla Tex-Mex on 99, the Grand Parkway and Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10 in Katy. We'll give you all the details soon here on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show and online. Frozen margaritas. There's always a celebration at Lupe Tortilla. Lupe founder Stan Holt and his wife Sheila are car people through and through. Both are winning racers on the NHRA drag racing circuit and have a collection of cars that everyone appreciates. You'll see one at the next Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In. The next event will be in the spring at the Lupe Tortilla Tex-Mex on 99, the Grand Parkway and Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10 in Katy. We'll give you all the details soon here on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show and online. Want to take a minute to tell you about Gulf Coast Auto Shield, a Houston detail company like no other. Gulf Coast Auto Shield offers paint correction services that'll give your car, truck, or SUV a like-new shine. Afterwards, you'll want to protect it with a professionally installed nano-ceramic coating or protection film. Worried about your very expensive windshield getting damaged, broken, or cracked? Let Gulf Coast Auto Shield install ExoShield, a windshield protection film. Give John Gray a call today or check out their website, gcautoshield.com. Hey, whether you own a new, ultra-expensive, exotic, or a 5-year-old Suburban, Gulf Coast Auto Shield will help keep your investment looking like the day it rolled off the assembly line. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is conveniently located on the South Sam Houston Parkway, just south of I-69, the Southwest Freeway. Meet the staff and check out all of their services online right now at gcautoshield.com. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show is now part of the iHeart family. Now you'll have access to 24/7 Car Talk anytime you need a fix. Just download the iHeart Radio app and ask for In Wheel Time Car Talk, and there we are. Be sure to save us in your iHeart library for instant access. No matter where you are, you have the best Car Talk Show right on your PC, laptop, or mobile device and never have to worry about finding us again. Of course, you can always get access to our video and audio streams via InWheelTime.com and your favorite podcast channel and all of
Welcome to the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show on iHeartRadio. Just ahead, we talk with Autumn at Ford Motor Company about the EV crate motor. I don't believe you. I don't believe you.
All right, we'll see.
Autumn, he told me what your last name is, but I don't believe him because it's not spelled that way. She's with Ford Motor Company. We're going to talk about the EV crate motor in just a moment, and we'll find out how she got that name. Mike Mars reviews our new vehicle of the week, the 2022 Kia Sorento. Plus, we'll have the upcoming events calendar later on. And star of stage, screen, and television live from the left coast, the fabulous Jack Nerad. Plus, we'll have the auto news headlines for the week. Just ahead on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Howdy. Along with Mike Out of This World Mars, King Conrad DeLong, I'm Don Armstrong. Jeff Zekin is out today. He will be back with us and joining us at the big NHRA Spring Nationals coming your way next weekend at Houston Raceway Park. It's going to be a 3-day extravaganza of drag racing extraordinaire with all the big stars of the show. And we'll hope to have most of those on, including our best bud. That would be Antron Brown.
With his own team, his own car, and his own...
Well, you know, he made that announcement last year at this event on this show.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's right.
So
a world exclusive.
Yeah. Now, let us turn our attention, if we can, please, to Autumn with the Ford Motor Company and talk about the EV crate motors. But Autumn, hi, honey. It's good to see you.
Hi, guys. How's it going?
Okay, so would you please tell me how you pronounce your last name?
Schwabi.
Schwabi. Okay.
See, it was right.
Well, he was
I know,
right.
it's a weird one. The L is silent. It's German. A lot of people mess it up. So thank you for asking before you butchered
it, right?
Before,
like everybody else does.
And embarrass myself like I always do. So we're starting off with my embarrassment, but we'll just move past that, okay?
That's all right. Never happened.
So it never happened. That's exactly right. So Autumn, EV crate motors. And, we were having a discussion just last week about when are the car manufacturers, Ford, Chevy, Chrysler, going to come up with a crate motor plan for EVs. And I know that...
And then we have you on this week.
And we have you on this. Such a miracle.
Perfect.
Hey, I know it is perfect.
All in the
It's meant to
timing.
be.
So tell me about Ford's apparently recently announced EV crate motor program.
Absolutely. So Ford Motor Company came out with the first ever all-electric crate motor. So we actually revealed it back at SEMA 2021. So, just very recently. And we demonstrated it actually in an old F100 to showcase what that vehicle, can do with that motor. So that crate motor, it's, kind of one of its kind. It's based off of the Mustang Mach-E motor. So horsepower wise, it's about 281 and pounds of torque is about 317. So it's, it's a fun little motor and it's actually very affordable. So you can find it at Ford Performance Parts. It's about just over $4,000. And when we revealed it at SEMA, I mean, our customers went crazy.
That's a steal.
We completely sold out.
Yeah.
It was amazing. We knew it was going to be a hit, but we didn't know it was going to sell it that quick.
So Autumn, for me, a crate motor contains the motor and all of the things that go along with it. Does this include the brain that the EV motor needs to go down the road?
Sadly, no. Right now, we're just offering the crate motor, but Ford Performance Parts is really working on developing those extra things that you need to put it in the vehicle. But as of right now, it's just the motor itself.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, because, to me, as a do-it-yourselfer kind of car guy, I would need to have the brain, because you're not looking at the brain power on my end to be able to make that work in a car.
Well, I imagine that's all shortly to come.
Yeah.
But, a build like that isn't going to be short build. It's going to take a while to build.
To me, the idea, I mean, I know you can get that stuff out on the aftermarket. It's obviously out there, but to me, I'm kind of like Don. You go buy a crate motor now, a gasoline-powered crate motor. You can get a long block, short block. You can get it in different configurations. So you're going to get this. My mind goes to, okay, what am I going to do about getting my transmission adapter so I can put a transmission to it?
You don't need a transmission.
No, you don't need a transmission.
You can just run it straight to the axles?
Absolutely.
Yeah, straight to the axles or straight to the prop shaft.
So how do you put it in neutral or park?
That's what the power controllers, the control system's about.
Well,
and
okay. See, we're so that shows my ignorance. So that's back to Don's point. If I go get a crate motor for me, I got to have everything.
Well, the specs on yours is 217 foot-pounds of torque. Now, if you think about that in EV, that's 317 foot-pounds of torque at the hit of the throttle. That's the way electric motors work. And it's only going to weigh altogether 205 pounds. It's going to be a third the weight of a typical gasoline engine and transmission assembly. It's going to make it fun to drive.
What were you going to say, Mars? Just go ahead and say it.
I was going to say, as far as weight goes, adding weight to the car, like on a Saturday night, I've had dates that added that much weight to the car.
Oh, my God.
We wish you didn't say that.
So you have to remember the batteries are what really weighs down the vehicle.
Correct.
So yes, that motor is light, but then the weight will come from the batteries that are needed.
And the battery packs, there's a number of different battery packs available and battery styles available from the NiCad to.
So
now, are you going to sell the batteries too?
As of right now, I cannot say what future products, but Ford Performance is working on the extra items.
Oh, my
needed.
God.
Well,
so you've been schooled in the Mike Levine School of Interviews on radio, no doubt.
I do work very closely with Mike Levine, and everyone has to say our little spiel, but that's how we stay professional.
I know.
And I would assume it's at some point this will be a bolt-in, plug-and-play system.
Yeah.
That they're going to have available.
Absolutely.
And I know you can't say that, but I can, because that's the way it's going to work.
So in other words, what I'm getting here is the fact that if you want a Ford EV motor, buy it now, put it in the closet, because right around the corner is going to be the controller, and then the batteries are going to be there shortly thereafter.
Right.
Well, I said it, you didn't. It's okay.
Well,
sounds good.
Yeah, so if you've got a 32 Ford or a 56 Chevy or something like that you want to convert, then that's your starting point, because you've got to get the motor, you've got to get it fabbed up to get the motor in there and stuff. So, yeah, I could see that. And then by the time you get ready to where you need the controller and stuff, it could be there.
I could see them selling a complete package that it's a bolt-in and go to your 65 Mustang.
Well, I will tell you this, that we did an interview here about, I want to say a year and a half ago, with a fellow that owned a company out in California, that he was taking Tesla motors and Tesla controllers and installing them in, mom's 72 Buick.
He had a 63 split window Corvette sitting there that he was doing the conversion.
Yeah, that was in Long Beach.
Yeah.
So the technology is out there, and if you want to keep your Ford F-100 stock, and as far as a motor is concerned, and you want to go electric, now you can
have
do
all
that.
the components to do
because
that.
you know how us car guys are. We want to keep our Chevy. We want to keep our Ford.
Oh,
yeah. And so
right there with you. Trust me, I know.
yeah. So how are the orders going with the EV motor, the crate motor?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we sold out right when we showcased it, and we were just so shocked and so excited. So as of right now, they're slowly getting out to customers. So really looking at like the long term this year, we're really looking forward to seeing what our customers, put these motors in. We're really excited to see how they take, how we showed it in the F-100 SEMA build, and then how they put it in their own, classic vehicles. So as of right now, orders are getting out, but we don't have anything, any questions, or we do have a tech line so that people can ask, anything needed. But right now orders are slowly moving.
Yeah, I posted the link to the Ford Performance Parts, the Illuminator Mach-E electric motor page on our social media. And I'm assuming that you guys know of some SEMA builds that are happening with your electric motor as SEMA is coming around, November this coming year.
October,
so I would think if you are out delivering these motors right now, there are people who are planning a SEMA build around it.
I personally don't know of any yet, but fingers crossed there's some really cool builds. We definitely want to see what our customers do.
Have you been to SEMA?
Oh my gosh, every year.
I think you're the only one that's never been, Don.
What? Well, we got to get you there. It is amazing. I've been going since I was in college. In college, I worked with Ford Performance as an intern, and luckily I was able to go each and every year as a student. And from a student eyes going into, a professional full-time employee with Ford and Ford Performance, it's just such a fun time. You get to do so many fun things and see a lot of cool things.
Where did you go to school?
I went to Northwood University. It's a private business school located in Midland, Michigan. And I got a very unique degree. It's automotive aftermarket marketing and management. And yes, there's a degree for it.
Oh,
so
my
I
God.
knew my whole life I wanted to go in the automotive business. And I know you guys will like this. I am a drag racer. So you guys talk about NHRA,
cool.
all of that. I am licensed in NHRA, and I have my own drag car.
So
I'm
have
very
you
excited to be on the show.
have you driven the electric Cobra Jet? Have you gotten behind the wheel of the
Not
electric
yet,
Cobra
but
Jet?
I've always been around it since the beginning. And the guys have gotten me kind of sat in it, feel it out. But what the hardest part is? I'm too short to reach the pedals right now.
Well, you
So
get
we'll
some
have to make some
4x4s
modifications.
and tape some 4x4s to the pedals and get
Yeah,
I might have
right.
to sit on a phone book. Yeah.
Platform shoes. So what are you licensed for in NHRA? Which license?
As of right now, I just have my starter license. So I just got it this last fall. I have a 1989 Fox Body Mustang that I did a full motor swap for a Gen 2 Coyote.
Oh,
And I
wow.
now have a 3-liter Whipple behind that. So, and then I just upgraded from a C4 to a Turbo 400.
She's a car girl.
Yeah, she is.
Would you like to? Hey, would you like to go on the Texas tour, hot rod tour of Texas with me next week? A couple of weeks.
Absolutely. Let's go.
Okay, we're all right.
We'll
We'll
send
get
you the invite.
Yeah, we'll send
And
you
I
the.
heard you guys talking about the NHRA spring break shootout, and I'm all there.
Yeah,
I'm ready
that's-
to go to any
Yeah,
NHRA races.
that's next weekend is the NHRA Spring Nationals, and
All right, perfect. I'll meet you guys there.
my daily business, my full-time job, we have a relationship with Bob Tasca, Bob Tasca III and his Mustang, and I know you guys have a huge relationship with him through the years.
Absolutely.
A lot of fun.
Yeah. In my role, we work so closely with Bob, just kind of managing his contract, making sure he has what he needs. And especially from a Ford Performance side, we do a lot with the YES program. So bringing
Right.
in that, the younger generation.
Youth
talking
educational
about
services.
Tech. Yeah. So we definitely, in my role, I do a lot. My job in motorsports is really all of motorsports management. So all the areas at Ford Performance races, I help out with different characteristics. So definitely very fond of the Tasca family. They're amazing, and they represent Ford Motor Company so well.
Oh, don't they though? They're like your largest parts distributor in the country. It's a great operation.
Oh yeah.
Well, we are truly looking forward to the race next weekend, and I don't know whether Bob's going to be here or not, but we'll assume that he is.
He will be.
But so back to the EV crate motor. So why would somebody want to put an EV crate motor in a car? And I mean, at this point, so early on in EV conversions, that it seems to me, but man, that would be a huge undertaking without the controller that goes with it.
I don't think it's as big a problem.
You don't
as
think
you
so?
Not at
Well,
all.
because I know that the technology is there, and the blueprints are there of how to do it yourself, and I guess that you could cobble together all that stuff.
All of the components, I think, are out there and available at this point from what the Illuminator Mach-E powertrain is. I think that is just the source of the motor. It's kind of like throwing an LS in a car. Yeah, you could throw an LS, or you threw a Coyote in the car. Well, you still have all of the other stuff to make the Coyote and the Whipple work in your Fox body, and some of that's going to be provided by Ford. Some of that's going to be provided by the aftermarket. It's all out there.
Well,
Gotcha.
but I wonder if you're going to get the motor. The crate motor is based on the Mustang Mach-E. Why couldn't you piece out the parts from the Mustang and make them work? Get the controller, replacement parts.
So I can touch on that. So our F100 Illuminator build that we did for SEMA is really a Mustang Mach-E GT performance package. So the full drivetrain with the Illuminator in it with a 1978 F100 on top. So if you guys have not seen that yet, definitely look into it. We took a full Mustang Mach-E GT from the, powertrain to the interior. So when you open the doors, you get a little bit of that retro mod. So absolutely, our customers will get this crate motor. They want to, do a full retro mod. They could take some of the Mustang GT components from the Mach-E and put it in that build. So that's something that we, demonstrated in that vehicle. So, like I said, you walk around the vehicle, it looks like an old truck, but then when you start it up, it's silent. You open the door, but you have those huge screens that you have in the Mach-E. You have the upgraded seats that, are just in the GT, performance pack. So we definitely want our customers to, I don't want to say, part out anything or, but definitely take a look at that build and then get inspired to take out old Mustang, old Bronco, old truck, whatever it may be, and convert it into that new electric build.
Have you driven that F100?
All the time. I love
Look at that
truck.
smile. Look at that
So
smile.
oh yeah. I mean, from driving, traditional ICE vehicles and getting into that old truck. I mean, I was just actually at the New York Auto Show where we did some media drives and I got to drive it around New York and it was a showstopper. People were just looking left and right like, whoa, what is that? I've driven it at, some other events. I've coordinated at different displays such as like PRI, and people are so drawn to it because it's so new, so fresh. They've never seen anything like it. And like I said, what it really demonstrates is, Ford Performance Parts being the lead for that electric revolution and that, hot rod builders and that custom chassis and just really showcasing what our shops can do and, SEMA builds can be in the future with EV and making it fun.
Well, I'm thrilled. I mean, I all I can imagine, I haven't seen the truck, but I can only imagine what a factory redo on a resto mod electric would be, because the factory guys do it to the T, the way that it's supposed to be, the way that you're taught in college about how to do this stuff. And then you've got all that experience, that history of Ford Motor Company. It's very exciting
And
to me.
the F100 EV, it's got old style dog dish wheel covers on it, painted wheels.
yeah.
It looks very original to the vehicle, except it's got 634 foot-pounds of torque electric motor in it.
Yeah, that's it.
Yep. Yep. So we do have 2 motors in it so that gets it to that higher mile per hour or the higher horsepower with that higher torque. So there are 2 motors in there. Yep, those wheels, they have that old classic kind of look. And then we have it in our classic Avalanche Gray, which is a Ford Performance color that you can find on Raptor, Mustang, vehicles like that. And then we did a custom bronze trim all the way around with everything from custom headlights all the way around to custom taillights. And then that custom interior to kind of bring that retro mod. We did some plaid. And fun fact, it still has crank windows. So we did not fully redo everything. We kept things original.
We love that. Does it have the wing windows on the side for the passenger and driver?
Does. Yes, absolutely.
Gotta have it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Autumn, it's great to talk to you. Thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it. You're a delight to talk to and very knowledgeable about the EV crate motor at Ford. And we hope to have you back on again soon. As soon as you get that controller, you be sure and make us your first call, okay?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. And please let me know if you have any more questions. I'm so looking forward to working with you guys in the future.
Thank you very much. And you be sure and tell Mike Levine we said hi.
Absolutely. I will do.
All right. Talk to you later.
Thank you.
Autumn Schwabe with the Ford Motor Company. All right. That's exciting stuff right there. All right. Time now for this hour's car review. No, let's do the events calendar first, shall we?
Sure.
Did I mess you up there?
Yeah.
No.
Go. You hit the wrong button. Go one more button over, Conrad. There you go.
Okay.
All right. The events calendar. Lots of events.
Well, yeah, there's all kinds of stuff going on. over the next couple of weeks. Again, May 14th is the Arkansas Camaro Fest. Bring your mullet, and that's in Eureka Springs, Arkansas. The Beaumont Main Street Gala that we talked about earlier today. May 21st is the Space City Showdown 3.0 out at Houston Raceway Park. May 20th through the 22nd is Go Topless at Crystal Beach. May 21st is the Magnolia Days Festival Car Show, and that's at Milam Street in Columbus, Texas. So I don't know where Magnolia and Columbus, Texas come together, but that's in Columbus, Texas. Surfside Texas Beach Cruise is June 11th, and then the Wake and Scrape up in Huntsville on August 14th, 12th through the 14th.
Are they still injecting people up there at the Huntsville State Penitentiary? Or are they going to shoot them? That was something from South Carolina news yesterday that apparently
The firing squad.
the firing squad.
Do you know they still hang people in Utah?
No, I did not know that. Just a side note, in case you'd want to know. Time now for this hour's.
Enough of them. I'm sorry. I didn't say that.
Exactly right. Time now for this hour's car review. Had a chance to drive the 2022 Mercedes-Benz GLS. It comes in 3 trim levels, basically based on engine size. The available trim levels are the GLS 450, the GLS 580, and the GLS 63. I had the GLS 580, middle of the road one. This is a standard SUV. In our terms, it would be more along the lines of a full-size SUV. It's Mercedes-Benz top of the line SUV. It'll seat up to 6 passengers with a third row and captain's chairs in the second row. Exterior changes from last model year. This is the 3rd gen version of the GLS. It was introduced originally in 2020. Exterior features include sleek, long, conservative lines with an attractive, modern grille that has a huge Mercedes-Benz TriStar emblem smack dab in the middle of it. Small side steps from the front to the back doors, and integrated quad exhaust tips, very attractive wheels as well. What I liked about it, Mercedes-Benz does it right with this design. You'll think the same thing once you see it. What could use improvement? I just put a big X there because I don't know what could use improvement. I like the overall look of this GLS. Interior highlights, best dash layout in full-size form and function, and it stretches 2 feet across from the left-hand side of the instrument cluster all the way to the infotainment system in the middle of the dash. Subtle ambient lighting that has multiple colors to choose from. The infotainment system is controlled by a touchpad on the center console, or you can touch the screen as well. Beautiful upholstery and comfortable perforated, heated, and cooled seating. Wow, it's good. Cargo and trunk room, plenty with the third row down. With the third row up, enough for groceries back there. What I liked, the beautiful design and the quality throughout the cabin. What could use improvement? Some buttons and control switches are a little bit too small for me and hard to read. They could make those a little bit bigger, I think. The engine that we had was a 4-liter bi-turbo and a mild hybrid combined. 483 horsepower, 516 pound-feet of torque, which is plenty, through a 9-speed automatic transmission. As far as fuel mileage, 16 city, 21 highway for a combined of 18. That's what it's rated on the sticker. I got 19.4 miles per gallon over 404 miles. What I liked about it, that smooth V8 power, there is nothing like it. What could use improvement? Nothing. If you want to go to the bigger 63, I think it's over horsepowered, but hey, if you want to blow it out of the water, that's the way to go. Ride and handling, controlled comfort with that air ride suspension. What could use improvement? Well, if you want to go off-roading, buy the G-Wagon. This is not that. Pricing, base trim price, $101,250. Prices tested, $111,995. The base model price is $77,850, and good luck in trying to find one of those. Competitors include the BMW X7 for
surprisingly enough, the same price base model of the Mercedes-Benz, $77,850 for the BMW. The Infiniti QX80, $73,000, and the Lexus LX 600 starts at $86,900. Overall, an absolutely stunning and beautiful vehicle. Well, that's my review of the 2022 Mercedes-Benz GLS 580. Get out and drive one if you get an opportunity. Hope you enjoyed the review. I have to tell you that I was on my way home last night, and I passed, no surprise, a Fiat 500. Remember those?
Yeah.
They fit in the bed of a pickup truck.
God.
Yeah.
I never liked that thing from the very beginning. I still don't like it today. And
Do they still sell them? I think they still sell them.
I guess
They
they do. Who buys them? Why would you want one? You know, the mileage is okay, but it's not all that. I mean, you're not getting 100 miles to the gallon in that little thing. I'm being nice. Can you tell?
Well, but there's Fiat dealers, up on the north side on 45 North.
Fiat builds a nice car, but not that.
Fiat Alfa Romeo, I think, is
There's none of them over in my part of the world, but yet people are still showing up. The guy I was telling you about before the show, his daughter has one.
The In Real Time Car Talk Show is now part of the iHeart family and available 24/7 at iHeart.com and through the iHeart app. Just look for the In Wheel Time Car Talk logo. We stream on Facebook, YouTube, and InWheelTime.com. Heck, we're everywhere. In Real Time Car Show continues right after a quick break. Your friends and hosts of the quarterly Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In at the Lupi Tortilla in Katy want to thank you for participating in this year's events and look forward to another exciting year. You'll hear about the next Tailpipes and Tacos right here and online soon. Next time you're in West Houston, be sure and stop in at the original Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex near I-10 and Highway 6, or the Katy location off I-10 and the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard. Traveling east to Beaumont or northwest to College Station, you'll want to have Lupi's award-winning beef fajitas and frozen margaritas. There's always a celebration at Lupi Tortilla. Lupi founder Stan Holt and his wife Sheila are car people through and through. Both are winning racers on the NHRA drag racing circuit and have a collection of cars that everyone appreciates. You'll see one at the next Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In. The next event will be in the spring at the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex on 99, the Grand Parkway and Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10 and Katy. We'll give you all the details soon here on the In Real Time Car Talk Show and online. Frozen margaritas. There's always a celebration at Lupi Tortilla. Lupi founder Stan Holt and his wife Sheila are car people through and through. Both are winning racers on the NHRA drag racing circuit and have a collection of cars that everyone appreciates. You'll see one at the next Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In. The next event will be in the spring at the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex on 99, the Grand Parkway and Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10 and Katy. We'll give you all the details soon here on the In Real Time Car Talk Show and online. Want to take a minute to tell you about Gulf Coast Auto Shield, a Houston detail company like no other. Gulf Coast Auto Shield offers paint correction services that'll give your car, truck, or SUV a like-new shine. Afterwards, you'll want to protect it with a professionally installed nano-ceramic coating or protection film. Worried about your very expensive windshield getting damaged, broken, or cracked? Let Gulf Coast Auto Shield install ExoShield, a windshield protection film. Give John Gray a call today or check out their website, gcautoshield.com. Hey, whether you own a new, ultra-expensive, exotic, or a 5-year-old Suburban, Gulf Coast Auto Shield will help keep your investment looking like the day it rolled off the assembly line. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is conveniently located on the South Sam Houston Parkway, just south of I-69, the Southwest Freeway. Meet the staff and check out all of their services online right now at gcautoshield.com. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show is now part of the iHeart family. Now you'll have access to 24/7 Car Talk anytime you need a fix. Just download the iHeart Radio app and ask for In Wheel Time Car Talk, and there we are. Be sure to save us in your iHeart library for instant access. No matter where you are, you have the best Car Talk Show right on your PC, laptop, or mobile device and never have to worry about finding us again. Of course, you can always get access to our video and audio streams via InWheelTime.com and your favorite podcast channel, and all of this is free to you. It's the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Coming up, Scott Painter, CEO of Autonomy, on gas prices and EVs. Conrad will have This Week in Auto History. And we'll get you updated on the stories making car news this week. Howdy along with Mike Out of This World Mars, that guy over there with the big thing on his arm and shoulder.
Yeah, what is that?
What is that?
You
What's
could
a
just-
six-pack
you
of
could-
beer?
You could just stop at Big Thing over there.
Oh. Is that catheter hurt?
Did he actually say that?
Yes.
You know what? We've got that recorded somewhere. I'm going
And
to.
Becky's watching.
Oh,
and
boy.
Becky's watching. That's perfect.
Is she?
Yeah, that's what she says.
Damn it.
Not anymore.
Yep. We have King Conrad DeLong here. We also have We Need More Jeff Zekin.
do.
I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us on this Saturday. My gosh, it's the last half hour of the program.
We've made it.
2 more hours
I
left.
can't believe it. Time flies when you're having a good time, huh?
Yes, sir.
Joining us right now is the CEO of a company called Autonomy, and his name is Scott Painter. Scott, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Very well, thank you, and thanks so much for joining us today. What is Autonomy?
Autonomy is a way to get flexible access to an electric car. I think that, given everything that's going on in our world today, we believe that it is time to consider going electric, but, there's a lot to think about when you consider getting an electric car because they tend to cost about 20 to 40% more than their internal combustion engine counterpart.
So how are you helping people get into an electric when they're not too sure, or maybe they can't find something that's within their price point?
Well, I think the primary focus of Autonomy is to bring the price point down because at Autonomy, you're not buying a car. We're actually letting you effectively have a open-ended, flexible term lease to that car that doesn't require you commit to a long term. You can go month to month and it does not affect your credit. So you're not actually getting into a car loan or a fixed term financial commitment. It does not show up on your credit report as debt. And you don't, as a result, have an interest rate. The entire thing happens on your phone. It's a lot easier. But I think the most important feature is if you got a little bit of anxiety about whether or not the battery life or the range anxiety or the charging infrastructure is going to be there, or you're really going to even like driving an electric car, not going ahead and committing to a 3-year lease or a purchase of the vehicle and dealing with title, registration, maintenance, repair, all of those things are handled inside of a subscription. And you can go ahead, try the car. If it doesn't work for you, or for whatever your situation is, you don't have the right charging set up, you can go ahead and return the car.
Wow. So it's a subscription.
It is.
Okay.
So the shorter the time, you said month to month versus a long term, do you pay more for a month to month versus the subscription for a longer time?
Traditionally, when you go for a shorter period of time, you end up paying a little bit more, in fact, because rental costs on, for instance, our launch product is a Tesla Model 3. We're expanding into the Model Y and the full Tesla model lineup here over the next couple of months. But we launched earlier this year with the Tesla Model 3, believing that's really this generation's Prius. It is a the most mass-produced electric car in America and in the world today. We do require a 3-month commitment at a minimum. So we don't want you to think of this like a rental. We're effectively, though, $21 a day. $490 a month is our entry-level price. You pay a start fee that's like a cap cost reduction or a down payment in a traditional car loan or lease. But then you keep the car for as long as you want or as little as you want and just go month to month. So really the cost is the big savings, whereas a rental is going to be 5 times more. A loan is going to be about 50% more. These cars are $50,000 cars, a $50,000 car loan over 3 years for most customers. It's going to cost you about $5,000 down, 10%. You're also going to have to pay tax when you buy the car. In a subscription, you do not pay sales tax when you take the car. You pay sales tax on a monthly use basis. So you'll pay $50 a month as opposed to $5,000 up front. All of this is just about giving customers more and more reasons to go electric.
And what a great opportunity it is for that driver who says, do I really want an electric? They can come to you and get that, not necessarily a test drive, but get that shorter ownership experience or driver experience of 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 12 months without the commitment, the financial commitment that they would if they had to buy it.
One of the things we're seeing, and you're totally right, is a lot of customers who are in the wait list for a Tesla Model 3 with Tesla. The average wait list time is now between 8 and 12 months to get your own vehicle built the way that you want. And so, and then you have to get into a 36-month commitment. So you're really stepping up to a 4-year relationship with your car. And if you're a little bit hesitant because of either range anxiety, cost, or whatever it might be, this is a perfect way. And so we're seeing a lot of those waitlist customers get a car from Autonomy while they remain on the waitlist, because Tesla lets you cancel your order up and until the time you take delivery. So I think in some cases we'll have customers who just decide to stay in their car, but in other cases they'll just use this for a short term and then roll into their Tesla Model 3 lease. And this actually is about 15% cheaper. And we also allow customers to get the vehicle that might have a little bit of a different credit score. Tesla has a cutoff for their Model 3 lease of a 720 FICO, whereas for an Autonomy subscription, you just need a valid driver's license and a credit card, and you can go all the way down to a 640 credit. So it really opens up electric to a whole new cohort of customers.
And along with that, as they get the car from Autonomy, what kind of charging system comes with it? Because if you're going to take an electric car home, you better have a way to charge it correctly.
You're absolutely right. There are 3 levels of charging. Level 1 charging is what 80% of electric car customers are doing today, which is a 110 trickle charge. It comes with a car. You just plug it into an outlet. You get about 25 miles a night. If you charge it up over a couple of days, you'll be able to stay ahead of your driving. Most customers with an electric car tend to drive less. Average miles driven that we're seeing is about 25 miles a day. So level 1 charging does work. However, Tesla is way ahead of the other brands in terms of their charging infrastructure. They've built a supercharger network of DC fast chargers that can top your vehicle all the way up to 260 miles of full charge in about 15 to 20 minutes. There is a Tesla supercharger within 10 to 15 miles of everybody in Texas. So this is definitely something that they've given a lot of thought to. And because right now we are a Tesla only shop, that supercharger network is your level 3 charging backbone. We're starting to see a lot of level 2 charging, which will get you 50 to 60 miles a day, emerge at shopping malls, office centers, and apartment buildings. So there are more chances than ever before. And certainly in big cities in Texas, this is really an option. Even though, electricity prices have been going up pretty, aggressively, they haven't kept up with how fast gas prices have gone up. And so it still represents for the average consumer almost a $3,000 annual savings to go electric. That $3,000 can really be helpful. If you want to go ahead and get a home charging conversion kit, it's about $1,000 to have one of these things installed, and you can do DC fast charging at home. You can get a full charge every night.
So with your relationship, or probably not a relationship with Tesla, but where are you getting your inventory? If a regular retail customer is having to wait 6 to 8, 10 months, how do you build your inventory to provide vehicles through Autonomy?
It's a really great question, because Tesla allows its customers to cancel their order up and until the day they take delivery. They are pretty famously one of the only build-to-order car companies. But as a build-to-order car company, when they take an order from a customer, they go ahead and slot that vehicle for production. And they have cars that, quote, fall out of production. To keep their production facilities moving at maximum efficiency, they basically ignore the fact that some customers drop out of their funnel. Those cars then become available for fleet customers. We operate with a dealer license and a reseller permit. So we also do not pay tax the moment we buy a car. We are buying currently hundreds of cars every week. Even though this business got started earlier this year, we're already seeing thousands of customers who've installed the app, thousands of people on the wait list. We're delivering about 15 cars every day and growing every week. So
wow.
The key for us is being able to buy in large quantities. And we're not picky when we buy about the color, the tire and wheel combination, the battery combination. We're buying across the board and taking whatever Tesla sends us.
So do you actually have a relationship with Tesla, or is this just as a Tesla retailer that you have a relationship with?
Well, we're not a Tesla retailer because they don't have any retailers, and we're not selling anything. The key to subscriptions are that we're not selling you a car and we're also not lending you money. That's what makes it so easy. It happens all on your phone. There's no offline paperwork. You sign for the car with your finger. And again, all you need is your valid driver's license and a credit card. But we do have a relationship with Tesla in that we are buying more Teslas than just about anybody right now other than Hertz, but we'll be quickly catching up with them as we continue to grow the business and expand nationally. This was initially launched here in California, where I am, but it is coming to Texas. It's coming to every market where Tesla has great registration data of customers who are trying to drive EVs, and many of the big cities in Texas are leading the way there.
So I can see where this would be a really cool deal because, like, my wife's driving pattern, she could drive an EV real easy because she doesn't do more than 20 to 30 miles a day.
She's watching you right now.
Oh, I know. But we've had this discussion, and she has never driven one, even though I get them through the fleet. But so she's a little concerned about it, and she won't. But I could get one for 3 months, let her drive it, let her get the experience out of it. And my problem with an EV is I don't want to pay the $50,000 for it. You know, I'll go buy me a muscle car first. But by this, I could put her in one, actually save some money, and I could see that working.
Well, you know, it is about affordability for sure, but the issue of range anxiety, you know, when this first happened that, you know, we started to see electric cars show up in large numbers, you would have thought if we were so worried about this that there would be Tesla drivers stranded in their cars everywhere, and it just doesn't happen.
What is the price of gas in your area out there?
Yesterday, at the bottom of my hill, I live in Westwood, California. It was just over $7.20.
Oh my gosh!
Wow.
And I was complaining about paying $4.49 the other day. So is Westwood Southern Cal, Northern Cal?
We're here in Southern California, so
Okay.
we're right near Beverly Hills, Bel Air, Brentwood, all these really high-end communities. But all of LA right now is peaking well over $6 a gallon and $7 a gallon in these sort of nicer areas. So, you know, I tend to drive personally in it, even though we've got literally hundreds of these Teslas. We've got a Tesla in the family here. I've also got, you know, a gas guzzler. We've got a couple of vintage cars. That my daily driver has become so prohibitive. I'm almost putting $600 a month into gas into my car. However, our price for a kilowatt hour of electricity makes the decision to drive electric here 10x the savings. Instead of putting $4,500 a year into my tank, I could be putting $450 into the same miles driven in an electric car. So massive savings.
Now, if we engage with your company, what about insurance? You know, insurance coverage on the vehicle.
So I'll tell you where we're at today is basically where every other lessor and lender is in America. They require you as the driver to go ahead and get insurance, and they require you to cover the car at some minimum level of coverage, whether that's 50, 100, 100, 300. These are all pretty standard. That's how we launched. However, because subscriptions tend to be of a shorter term and auto insurance policies haven't been modernized yet, meaning if you're going to get an annual auto insurance policy, but you're only going to keep your car for 8 months, you're going to have some unnecessary insurance. So we've been working with Nationwide Insurance to be able to deliver a month-to-month auto insurance policy that you'll buy directly from us. And then finally, where we're really excited to go, because we get information directly from these cars, they're fully connected 5G cars, we're going to give our customers the option to not drive the car and not have to pay insurance. But if you drive the car, then we'll bill you for daily auto insurance. And daily auto insurance is something like a $5 charge. And while $5 a day every day might add up to a little bit more than your own insurance policy, it's accessible to most people, and they don't have to sign up for a multi-$1,000 per year annual policy.
Plus, if they're not driving the car every day, they're not paying the $5 either.
I think it gives people a lot of incentive to be in control of their budget, and nobody is offering episodic time-based insurance. It's only possible because we're fully connected to these cars.
And that way Nationwide is on your side.
Yeah.
Sorry. I couldn't avoid that one.
Yeah. What about maintenance?
These are, one of the things we don't say to folks is that you're going to be guaranteed a brand new car, because obviously as cars come back from one customer, that car will go right back into service to another customer, but they're not rental cars. These are cars that are going to be used, we believe, for between 9 and 15 months on average. That said, the car gets reconditioned, comes out, and it doesn't matter whether you're getting a brand new one or you're getting one that's lightly used. You are going to have all maintenance included. That includes tires, brakes, windshield wipers. And this is the same thing that you would expect if you went to a rental car counter. You're not going to be worried about maintenance on the car. You're going to be able to just drive and rely on that car and the all-in cost. So that's where we started. Everything is included, including roadside assistance.
So,
Wow.
but if it breaks, then I need to take it in just like I would.
Well, if you're in a
Like-
rent car and the rent car breaks, you have to do the same thing. You know, they've got roadside assistance. I would assume your roadside assistance.
I mean, if it's a catastrophic failure, obviously we'll come pick it up. If it is a maintenance issue, we'll tell you where to drop it off, and we'll give you the option to have somebody come pick it up if you would like. But any kind of thing that you don't have to pay for, it sort of falls into the same kind of category as a warranty service.
Okay.
And your reconditioning location, because you said you're somewhat based in California right now as you're expanding to different areas, is there, how do we get the car from Autonomy? You know, let's say I want to subscribe, and do I have to come there to pick it up? Do you deliver it to me? How does that aspect of it work?
We are right now operating two different ways to get the car, and we're really experimenting here in California because as we expand into other markets, getting a car into a subscription is somewhat like picking up the car from the valet. You just need to verify that the car isn't damaged. You get a QR code, and then you go ahead, release the door locks on the car, and it's your car once you sign for it and your subscription is active. That means you can pick up the car at a location like a hotel where they have a parking garage and charging stations. That's really ideal for us. However, what we're starting to see emerge here in California is we give people for $100 a home delivery option. 70% of our customers are choosing home delivery. I personally think that this whole thing is going to go towards home delivery. And as specifically Teslas become autonomously driven cars, imagine the car pulling up into your driveway, turning itself off, locking the doors, and then texting you that it's ready.
That's genius. We were talking earlier about the GM and their cruise program of autonomous taxis, basically, that are running in San Francisco. I would assume. Are you already operating in the Bay Area, or are you just down in the LA area right now?
Yeah, we initially launched thinking, with Los Angeles being the car capital of the world, where nearly 15% of all Tesla registrations are, that this would be a big enough market for us to launch in. Quite literally, within days of our launch, almost half of our orders came from the San Francisco Bay Area.
Of course.
And the reason for that tends to be that the Bay Area is famously known as an early adopter market for new tech.
Right.
And whereas Southern California is much more car centric, it's a great electric car market. Up north, this is such a novel idea. Getting a car entirely on your phone, zero negotiation, zero paperwork. This is identical to how one would rent a scooter. You know, you scan your driver's license, you scan your credit card, and you're done.
So if I am a subscriber to Autonomy and I'm driving a car, do I ultimately take that car home, or do I leave it parked in a common area and I'm moving in and out of different cars over my subscription?
Yeah, this is not car sharing.
Okay.
This is your car, and you get all the benefits of ownership. You get to take the car where you want, do what you want with this. We believe that this is just a different financial contract for getting you your car, but this is what modern ownership is going to look like. I think it's also consistent with everything else we do in modern life. We subscribe to our movies, we subscribe to our cell phones, our minutes. All of our content comes in the same form of a subscription. I think ownership is quite unnecessary, especially in a typically depreciating asset. The idea of borrowing money at a high interest rate to finance a depreciating asset. I've got 4 kids. That is just not good financial advice.
Is there like a mileage limit on it, like you would get with a regular lease?
Yeah, so what we do offer is 12,000 miles a year, 1,000 miles a month. But if you want to drive more miles, you can do that, and you just pay for additional miles. What we do, however, requires that you do not use your autonomy subscription for gig economy and rideshare work.
Huh. What celebrities do you have on board with you? Since you're in
You
the
know,
you're in the nest.
I know of all the celebrities we have on board, and I don't have permission to mention any
Ah.
of them because I don't want to get ahead of that. But I know that this is going to become a bigger and bigger issue because as these things tend to become very trendy and popular, you want to be able to tell everybody who's driving these cars. I do know right now there are some very forward-thinking celebrities and trendsetters that are driving the car just because I've seen the lists of all the customers that are signing up.
How cool.
Scott, what's the website?
It's autonomy.com, but you can also find us in the App Store at Autonomy, just the single word, AUTONOMY. And then we also are at 1-800-AUTONOMY if you want to make a phone call. All
Thanks.
of it is just an easy way to find us.
Thanks so much for the education, and that's what it was because we had no clue. And best of luck to you. Obviously, I don't think you're going to need any luck from our end, but things are going well for you, and it seems like it's a great thing to offer people. Well, again, thanks. We really appreciate the time you spent with us today.
All right, guys. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Scott Painter.
What a great idea.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, what a spectacular idea.
Love it.
All right. How about this week in auto history? I know that you have that.
So,
always.
do you know what yesterday was?
Yes, it
Friday.
was Friday.
No, yesterday was the day that Billy Joe McAllister jumped off the Tallahatchie Bridge. You listen to the very beginning of the song, and that was June 3rd. I didn't realize that. I thought that was kind
The
of cool.
3rd of June. That's right.
Third-
It does say
No, it was
that.
June Cash.
No.
She was singing back
in
up.
1921, Mack adopted the bulldog as its symbol for the trucks. In 1927, production of the Ford Model T officially ended after building 15,007,000 units. The Model T sold more units than any other car in
It's
history
amazing that there
until the
aren't any
Volkswagen
more of
Beetle.
those around. You just
I
don't
think
see Model Ts around.
I think there's lots of them around, but they're not.
You don't ever
they're
see
not
them at
out
a
on the
car
road.
show or anything.
Well, I don't know that I want to drive one, but
No, but I mean, for
You
a
used
car
to see
that
them in parades and stuff.
for
though.
a
You
car
don't-
that was
not
that
anymore.
popular, and they sold so many of them. Anyway,
Well, you don't take them out because they're so fragile.
And then in 1930, the Chrysler Building was completed in New York City. And at that time, it was the tallest building in New York City, tallest building in the world. And then shortly after that, a few years after that, the Empire State Building. And the funny thing is, you ever been to New York and seen the proximity? The two of them are actually quite close to each other.
Right.
The Chrysler Building is stunningly beautiful with all that stainless steel Art Deco work on top of it. It's really, really quite a piece of art. In 1932, the first gasoline tax was levied by the U.S. Congress, and it was enacted as part of the Revenue Act of 1932.
Those darn revenuers.
Yeah, revenues.
Congress placed a tax of 1 cent per gallon on gasoline in 1932. And now Congress has 18.4 cents per gallon nationally as a federal tax, and Texas takes 20 cents per gallon as a state tax. In 1933,
But we don't pay income tax here.
Yeah, I know, but Texas is low at 20 cents a gallon. California is double that. New York's double that. In 1933, eager motorists parked their automobiles on the grounds of the Park-In Theaters, the first ever drive-in movie theater located on Crescent Boulevard in Camden, New Jersey. Park-In Theater term eventually changed to drive-in theater later on.
Park-In theater.
Park-In theater. In 1934, Bonnie and Clyde were shot to death in their Ford V8. Clyde Barrow, and you can go see this letter at the Ford Museum, had written a letter to Henry Ford praising the performance of the flathead Ford V8.
Yep.
In 1937, VW was founded in Germany. And that's the original VW, and you can kind of see it really hadn't changed all the way through. When did the Bug go away?
90.
Well, but that was the front engine one. The rear one, right into the early 80s, I believe.
The front engine wasn't the 90s, was it?
I know they built them in Mexico for a longer
Yeah.
period of time than they were here in the States, but you can see that the evolution of the car. In 1937, also, the Golden Gate Bridge opened to vehicular traffic, one of the world's largest single-span suspension bridges, and it was designed by Clifford Payne. You've been across it?
Oh, yeah.
What a stunningly beautiful piece of art that is.
Tires going
because you're
across
driving over that
Grate.
open grate.
Yeah.
In 1951, Gordon Berrig of South Bend, Indiana, received a patent for vehicle top construction with removable panels. Now, he also did the Auburn Speedster, and it didn't come into production until 1968 with the T-tops, which I thought was kind of cool.
Yeah.
And in 1910 was when Hummer shut down.
One story I got to get in.
1910?
Next generation
Or
Lexus
2010.
RX, the top-selling family hauler that crushes the midsize premium crossover segment, leads Lexus deeper into electrification with a complete redesign that brings the nameplate's first plug-in as well as fire-breathing F-Sport turbocharged hybrid. And when it lands in the U.S. this year, the 2023 Lexus RX will debut with 4 new powertrains as well as a new direction for the Lexus design, de-emphasizing the spindle grille.
Yay.
Woo! We'll have more of the In-Wheel Time Car Show after this.
Your friends and hosts of the quarterly Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In at the Loopy Tortilla in Katy want to thank you for participating in this year's events and look forward to another exciting year. You'll hear about the next Tailpipes and Tacos right here and online soon. Next time you're in West Houston, be sure and stop in at the original Loopy Tortilla Tex-Mex near I-10 and Highway 6, or the Katy location off I-10 and the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard. Traveling east to Beaumont or northwest to College Station, you'll want to have Loopy's award-winning beef fajitas and frozen margaritas. There's always a celebration at Loopy Tortilla. Loopy founder Stan Holt and his wife Sheila are car people through and through. Both are winning racers on the NHRA drag racing circuit and have a collection of cars that everyone appreciates. You'll see one at the next Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In. The next event will be in the spring at the Loopy Tortilla Tex-Mex on 99, the Grand Parkway and Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10 in Katy. We'll give you all the details soon here on the In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show and online. Frozen margaritas. There's always a celebration at Loopy Tortilla. Loopy founder Stan Holt and his wife Sheila are car people through and through. Both are winning racers on the NHRA drag racing circuit and have a collection of cars that everyone appreciates. You'll see one at the next Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In. The next event will be in the spring at the Loopy Tortilla Tex-Mex on 99, the Grand Parkway and Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10 in Katy. We'll give you all the details soon here on the In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show and online. Want to take a minute to tell you about Gulf Coast Auto Shield, a Houston detail company like no other. Gulf Coast Auto Shield offers paint correction services that'll give your car, truck, or SUV a like-new shine. Afterwards, you'll want to protect it with a professionally installed nano-ceramic coating or protection film. Worried about your very expensive windshield getting damaged, broken, or cracked? Let Gulf Coast Auto Shield install ExoShield, a windshield protection film. Give John Gray a call today or check out their website, gcautoshield.com. Hey, whether you own a new, ultra-expensive, exotic, or a 5-year-old Suburban, Gulf Coast Auto Shield will help keep your investment looking like the day it rolled off the assembly line. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is conveniently located on the South Sam Houston Parkway, just south of I-69, the Southwest Freeway. Meet the staff and check out all of their services online right now at gcautoshield.com. The In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show is now part of the iHeart family. Now you'll have access to 24/7 Car Talk anytime you need a fix. Just download the iHeart Radio app and ask for In-Wheel Time Car Talk, and there we are. Be sure to save us in your iHeart library for instant access. No matter where you are, you have the best Car Talk Show right on your PC, laptop, or mobile device and never have to worry about finding us again. Of course, you can always get access to our video and audio streams via InWheelTime.com and your favorite podcast channel, and all of this is free to you.
Well, you know what that sound means. Yeah. It's time to say goodbye.
Goodbye.
That's a wrap for this week's In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show. When you're on our Facebook page, please give us a like, tell your friends about us, and share our junk if you would, please. You'll get Conrad's Unicorn Hunting features, along with all things automotive, all week long, including new car reviews, upcoming events, cruise-ins, racing events, and other goodies. You can find the In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app. In-Wheel Time can also be heard live on Facebook, YouTube, and InWheelTime.com every Saturday, 8 to 11 Central. 30-minute podcasts are available from your favorite podcast provider 7 days a week. The In-Wheel Time Chief Engineer is David Ainsley. Our Marketing Advertising Manager and Video Technical Director is We Need More, Jeff Zekin.
For booking agent and podcast editor Mike Bars and his royalty king Conrad DeLong, I'm Don Armstrong. Today's In Wheel Time was produced by the hot chick lifeguard at the neighborhood pool.
All right.
Be sure to join us again for our next live In Wheel Time car talk show next Saturday from the Lone Star Street Rod Association
State run. In
June
Granbury.
11th, 2022, starting at 8 a.m. Central on all these In Wheel Time car talk outlets. Right here on the Smoke and Mirrors Network. So long for now. Well, you know, leave it to me.
Or Beaver, one of the two. Leave it to Beaver.
Okay.
Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
Exactly.
Welcome to the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show, or something else. We don't want to even admit that this is the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show.
Oops.
Thank you, Don Armstrong. Coming up, Lewis Black joins us to talk about raw materials for making cars. Later, look at the stories making automotive news headlines this week. Howdy, along with Mike out of this world, Mars, King Conrad DeLong. We need more Jeff Zekin. I'm the man behind the curtain.
Yeah.
Screwing it all up.
Absolutely. Yeah, thank you for pointing it out. It's all my fault,
Doing
as
what
it
we
usually is. Joining us now, live from the great state of New York, I believe it is. His name is Lewis Black. He's the CEO of Almonte Industries. And Lewis Black, not the comedian, but, well, I guess you can be, Lewis, if you want to be. But it's good to have you back with us again. Almonte Industries is an international raw materials development company. And I know that last time we spoke to you, you were in Spain. And
absolutely true.
Yeah, and you're back in the States.
Well, you know, it was the fact of you know, the good weather and the fresh food and you know, the wonderful, charming nature of Spain. I thought like it was too good. So I returned to the States to feast on the culinary delights of New York City.
Oh my God! Yeah, and he's a salesperson too.
It's not quite what I expected, but I think it's important that I keep my feet on the ground.
Absolutely.
Chamber of Commerce wants you.
So it's Ray's Pizza and Say Bread hot dogs.
I have to say, it is a delight to be able to walk in somewhere and get food straight away. Whereas in Spain, it's more of a sort of, you know, suggestion. You kind of wait and maybe come back, and maybe they remember or maybe they don't. So you never really know. But no, it's good to be back home.
Well, and it's good to have you back with us again. I know that after our last conversation, we had to pick our jaws up off of the floor because we learned an awful lot. And there's been a lot of changes since we last talked to you in the supply chain. And you're really at the base of the supply chain, and that is materials, raw materials to make the things that go into cars. And the first thing that comes to my mind are batteries for EVs. And we keep hearing these horror stories about there's not going to be enough raw materials to make the batteries at the rate that everybody is bragging about how fast these EVs are going to come off the assembly line. And I was hoping to find out from you exactly what the status is of that. Can you fill us in?
Well, I mean, I think that this is not a new story. I mean, back in the days before Tesla made EVs sexy, hybrids were the future. And even back then, with the way that they wanted to transition towards hybrids, they said they were a decade away from getting enough raw materials to be able to produce the number of hybrids that would be required going forward. So this is really a continuation of the same story. And I think since the hybrid stories, the world has changed, you know, even more, where raw materials don't win you votes. The idea of getting raw materials probably does, but the idea of actually producing them does not. And so what we're seeing in democracies across the board is an understanding of the strategic nature of needing these products, but not wanting to build it in your own backyard. So I think the days of seeing large-scale mines opening in democracies are coming now to a close. And then, of course, it's a completely different conversation regarding procurement, because yes, you're completely right. The politicians are really running to the end of the race without actually knowing how to start it, because there is no way there is even close to enough raw materials to meet these timelines that are being imposed upon everybody.
And is some of the reason why some countries are unwilling to do the mining is because typically this is open pit mining?
No, I mean, many mines are, you have a balance of both. It's just that the concept of making a mine, whether it's open pit or underground, it doesn't win you votes. No one's getting elected on the back of that. And so, building a battery factory, that's a lot more kind of palatable, but you still got to feed the battery factory.
Right.
So you're really moving to a stage where you're imposing timelines that the industry cannot meet. And on top of that, you are going to strengthen the very lack of diversification in your supply chain that you're trying to get away from, because the only countries that are even close to being able to increase output are the ones that are already producing.
Interesting.
Because I know that I saw a story where somebody, they were trying to open a mine in Michigan. And I don't remember exactly what they were trying to, uranium or something like that. Anyway, of course, all the EPA type came in and said, no, we don't want a mine in Michigan. Go do it someplace else. We don't want you to open this mine. So I think they pretty well stopped it.
Well, you can only mine where the raw materials are in the ground.
Exactly.
I mean, it's not like they could just choose another place.
Start digging a hole.
Look, I mean, in democracies, it takes you 8 to 10 years to open a mine anyway. The United States has a different quirk in that you can go through all the processes of approval and then still politically be rejected, even though that rejection is in the gray area of whether it's even legally possible to do. It's a risk that you face. And so if you're an investor, you're going to shy away from that risk because you can spend all this money getting to the finish line and then it still gets shut down. In Europe, they seem to be a lot more delicate about this. They just don't approve the project. They don't actually say publicly, we're not going to approve it. They just don't approve it. And so we are really seeing, to open a mine in a democracy is problematic. And yes, the NGOs, indigenous groups, there's all kinds of basically people that now need to say it's okay to mine. National interest is really at the back of the queue because we're in a democracy where an individual counts. If you're in a country where that doesn't, an individual is not important, you can put national interest at the front of the queue. But that is the price, whether we like it or not, of living in a democracy. And to be honest, yes, it's a pain, but I'd rather be in a democracy than the alternative.
Right. And then, so is that why it seems like a lot of the raw materials are probably coming out of Africa more than the democracies of
South
Europe?
America, places like that?
Yes, I mean, regulation-wise, it's certainly simpler. Now, it doesn't tick the transparency box that many customers desire, but until such time as there's greater choice for these consumers, those questions are going to be put on the back burner because you can't really bite the hand that feeds you. You can't say, oh, we're not happy with one jurisdiction because it's not transparent when you have no alternative to replace that material you're walking away from. And a great example is Russia. So for tungsten, so we're the guys outside of China who produce the most tungsten. But between China and Russia, 90% of the world's tungsten is produced. And yet, since they rolled into a sovereign country, which in itself was extraordinary, the reaction of the West has been, well, we're going to confiscate some oligarchs' yachts. We're not really sure they own them because they're obviously hidden behind many different, different shell companies. But there's been no disruption of raw material supply from Russia. None whatsoever, because you can't afford not to buy it. There's nowhere else you can get it. And so you do find yourself in a rather difficult situation where your own policies are going to continue to empower jurisdictions that perhaps don't share your values. And that, of course, ultimately leads to drama.
Yeah.
What is tungsten used for in automobile manufacturing?
Well, funnily enough, tungsten's at the top of pretty much every country's strategic list because it's in absolutely everything. They don't use a lot of it, but without it, you can't actually make anything. So we're talking from defense to medical to automotive, batteries, technology, screens, semiconductors, aerospace, everything. I mean, in your room right now, pretty much everything you can see around you has some connection with tungsten, whether it be your laptops, whether it be your phones, whether it be even the table, the manufacturing of that table. So there's a little bit of it in everything. And to think that 10 to 12% of all tungsten is used in defense, and yet 90% of all tungsten comes from China and Russia, you can see that it's an area that no one really wants to make a big noise about until they have alternatives. They just don't really know how to get to that point of finding alternative sources without essentially upsetting the hand that feeds you.
So we've got In Wheel Time Mining Company. Where would you suggest we put a shovel in the ground?
Well, ultimately, it depends what gets you out of bed in the morning. For me, I like to sleep at night, so I only want to operate in safe jurisdictions. And on that basis, I'm prepared to go through the, damage of getting a permit slowly in democracies that are still looking at, very limited growth in that area. If you want to make money, you head to South America, you head to Africa, but you face and you head to the Caucasus or, the old satellite states of the Soviet Union, Mongolia, but you run the risk that you can make a lot of money, but you can also wake up one morning and find that the president's son has decided he wants to be in your business, and your business is now painted a different color.
And you've lost everything. So with the changes looked at in technology in the batteries, I realize, the batteries, the lithium ion, the cobalt and stuff is all kind of where they're at now, but there's future changes of battery because there's so much technology, research and development. Is Almonte looking at the future and what stuff they're going to need as they change the battery recipe?
Well, the recipe may change, but it will still require raw materials. And then we go back to what we were just saying. You can't build these mines in democracies. So you are probably still shopping in the same store. You're just going to a different aisle. So nothing really changes on that basis. Wow. I mean, we've seen growth in tungsten in the last 6-7 years. It's been driven, say, in South Korea. So South Korea is the largest consumer of tungsten per capita in the world. And we happen to be reopening the world's largest tungsten mine right in that jurisdiction. Its main primary source of consumption is technology in South Korea. So it's used in screens, it's used in semiconductors, and it's used in batteries. And as those are enormous growth areas within the country, you've seen double-digit growth of tungsten consumption. Tungsten is one of those bizarre metals that disperse heat, do not smelt, they smelt slightly less than the temperature of the sun, and is very conductive, which means they pump like a tungsten gas into every semiconductor because it means you can run many more operations in that semiconductor and not worry about heat. They're using it now in anodes and cathodes because you can get rid of the cobalt and use more nickel, and that way the batteries don't combust. And you can charge them very quickly, but not just for vehicles, EVs. You can do the same for laptops, for phones. And these are now what are being produced in South Korea as they enter commercial production, meaning you can charge your phone in a matter of minutes, as an example.
So that tungsten is the advancement of technology.
Tungsten is part of the recipe. Tungsten is not the only recipe. I mean, we talk about lithium, but lithium only operates when it's combined with other metals. It's just, ultimately the market gets hold of a story and sort of drives the narrative on one particular metal, but no one particular metal is going to build the future. The way that metal is combined with other metals is what's going to build the future.
Something that was running around on the internet this week was mining on the floor of the ocean.
Yeah, the little nodes.
Yeah, little nodes. Do you know anything about that?
Well, yes. I mean, look, to be perfectly honest, if you think you have problems in Michigan opening a mine with environmentalists, you try doing it in the ocean.
I can only imagine. Yeah.
You've got local, local NGOs in Michigan. You'd have global NGOs with. I mean, think about it. Greenpeace doesn't even allow you to take nuclear-powered vessels or New Zealand into their waters. you have no shot of mining at the bottom of the ocean. I mean, it's never going to happen in a lifetime. You have more chance of mining in space.
Yeah.
But the oceans, no. And to be honest, I'm not entirely sure that's the greatest idea. Regulations exist for a reason on land, and they're a pain and they're a drama and all these things. But ultimately, they serve a really valid process, because up until the sort of 80s, mining companies, a lot of them couldn't behave themselves, and they did a lot of damage. And when China arrived into the market and essentially gave away almost free product, say in tungsten, there was 100 tungsten mines outside of China in the end of the 70s, beginning of the 80s. By the beginning of the 90s, there were 2. So that culling was a necessary market function, but also it solved a big problem for a lot of the governments. These mines weren't adhering to regulations that are now in place. So even though they drive me nuts, I really see the benefit of them.
So let me ask you, if I understood a while ago, you said it takes you like about 10 years to open a new mine. Was that right?
Yes, I mean, 8 years if you're lucky, 10 years if you're not.
So in relation to the technology, you said most of it's going to be a combination of existing products, but if somebody comes up and says we think we're going to need more of one particular raw material, and so you need to expand your capacity. But if they come up with something totally new, said, you're not mining this now, but we want to start because we need it for this. Does that ever happen to where you really got to go out and find new places?
We know, the elemental table gives us a list of everything that exists. So pretty much everything has been prospected and prepared in that sense. I mean, a lot of the elements are actually byproducts of production of other metals. So, rare earths, for instance, aren't that rare. I've never really been sure whether I think they wanted to command attention on the elemental table, and they were called rare earths, but they weren't so rare. But no, there's nothing. I don't think there's anything majorly new to discover. I mean, I could be wrong, but ultimately, smarter guys than I have been pulling over minerals and metals for the last 200 odd years. Some of them going back 4,000 years of copper and tin. But no, I don't think you're going to find that. I think your main problem is going to be whether ESG continues to be front and center, so that companies like Apple and Airbus and Boeing, and Ford, they demand transparency of their supply chain. And also, how are they going to address the fact that they shop pretty much all in the same store? What happens if that store, closes or has a problem or decides that you're no longer welcome in that store? I mean, there are 100 different things that could happen, but you don't have anywhere else to go right now. And that's really, I think, the major problem facing all manufacturers currently.
Sounds a little scary.
Yeah.
Yes.
You have a backdrop behind you. What mine is that?
This mine is Los Santos in Spain. It's our Spanish asset.
And what do they mine there?
That mine's tungsten.
Okay.
And ultimately, what you see is actually basically the sand to control all the dust. And then when this mine closes, all of that will disappear. It's all revegetated.
Reclaimed, yeah.
So look, I mean, now is not what it was. Ultimately, you have a responsibility and you have to adhere to that responsibility. Mm-hmm. But I think the image of mines is still suffering from the sins they committed back in the 60s, 50s, 60s, 70s, the legacy issues that were left. And that means that ultimately, politically, if you think this current administration, the previous administration, they talked very strongly about raw materials until they sort of ran into this headwind of, you know what, no one's going to elect you on that. So they kind of migrated further downstream to semiconductors, batteries. So they've gone to the end of the race, and they're going to let someone else worry about the start.
Yep, that makes sense.
Very interesting.
So you talked about the elemental table. Do you have kind of a map of the elemental table and where those elements are available around the world?
Sure. I mean, actually, USGS, the U.S. Geological Society, is really good. They have a really good in-depth knowledge, because in the Cold War, they were tasked to finding out who had what and where it was, and that was all part of their planning. Even though they were stockpiling material for American manufacturers in the event of war, they wanted to know that if they had to send boots on the ground, who are they going to get first? And that's always happened historically. If you look at Japan pre Second World War, the first country they rolled into was South Korea because they in fact wanted to get their hands on the mine that we're reopening because they use a lot of tungsten in defense. So in munitions. So yes, there are maps that show what's where. And the US has a lot of raw materials. There's no doubt about it. It's a vast country. Canada has a lot of raw materials. Mexico has a lot of raw materials. You are surrounded by lots of solutions, but you also have a lot of hurdles. And I think that if we look in Canada in the last 5, 6, 7 years, there's been much more prominence given to First Nations. And so First Nations now is another hurdle you have to get through, and it's a fairly new system, and it's quite complex, and it's very frustrating, I think, because no one seems to really have a direction. So that's slowed everything down in Canada. In the US, you obviously have no real political base that supports it, and then of course in Mexico, you have all the other associated problems, which is, can you be truly transparent? Can you conform to the levels of ESG that are being asked of you? So I think the raw materials are there, but it's going to take a great deal of effort to get them to market if you want to domestically or produce close by, where you can truck the raw material rather than ship.
Wow.
Well, truly amazing stuff.
I know.
It's educational every time we have you on. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Lewis, it's always great to talk to you, and we certainly appreciate your time on this Saturday morning, and we hope to talk to you again soon. If you got any updates, feel free to give us a call. We'll get you back on.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Be safe.
Thank you.
Yeah, have a great weekend. Always fascinating to talk to him. When I found out that we were going to have him, it's like, really? I didn't know that.
Mike, we need to do a remote from a mine.
You know what?
Now,
I can only imagine getting the signal out of a mine.
well,
we can't even get it out of the
There'd be
garage.
a lot of wires.
Let's just go to New York and sit down with Lewis and do the show from there.
We get to New York, but we can't get to the SEMA show in Las Vegas. That's good.
Well, George Skelton says the largest iron mine in Texas is at the Lone Star Steel mine. So maybe there's one in Texas we could go to.
Okay. If we'd love to hear from you. Just shoot us an email. The address here is info@inwheeltime.com. Got some news stories that I wanted to get to. The U.S. arm of automaker Stellantis has issued a do not drive warning to roughly 250,000 older model year vehicles that are subject to Takata airbag recalls. Again and still are the two words that I can think of. Models included in the warning include 2005 to 2010 Dodge Magnums, Chargers, Challengers, and Chrysler 300s.
There's a lot of those out there.
Yeah.
NHTSA is telling all vehicle owners of those models to check to see if their vehicle has an open Takata airbag recall. You can do that by going to safercar.gov. Type in the VIN number, which you can find not only up there on the dash pad, but you can also find it in your wallet or on your cell phone. And it's called the VIN number that comes with your car insurance that you're supposed to have.
Yeah, it's easy to find.
Yeah, easy to find. The warning comes after two such airbags exploded in two separate incidents involving 2010 Dodge Chargers, killing two people.
Wow.
The top auto safety regulator said a third death is suspected. Left unrepaired, recalled Takata airbags are increasingly dangerous as the risk of an explosion rises as vehicles age. All customers who have the airbags will receive a free repair. A free repair. The Takata recall has been the largest in global automotive history. More than 100 million vehicles have been recalled worldwide.
Wow.
I was really surprised when I read that because by now I've done recalls on the recalls
Yes.
on my Ram truck. And it just the idea that somebody hasn't done anything just surprises me.
Yeah, especially the fact that you risk getting killed.
Yes.
You think that would...
Well, you would hope that the person would check their car regularly, but if you're looking at, these are 15-year-old cars in some instances, and it may have gone through multiple hands before it, and So the manufacturer may be mailing a recall notice to the person who owned it 3 cars ago.
Right.
Well, but
I think they
again-
need. I think they need to put a requirement on the used car sale of getting a safercar.gov inspection.
I think what they need to do is they need to put it on hold through your registration.
Okay, same thing. Okay. Oh, well, registration would be more frequent than selling.
Have you seen some of the cars on the road lately?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So every time that the car gets sold, or every time you go and renew the registration, which you do in Texas at least once a year,
Yes.
Just did mine.
that would be, hey, you got a recall. We can't register your vehicle. You need to go get that fixed. Because they certainly do it with your state inspection.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was going to say with the state inspection. Make it part of their inspection. We're going in. You've got a recall on your car. You've now been officially notified. No more excuses. Yeah, it's just part of the inspection.
Well, and then hold up the registration until they go get it done.
Well, I don't know that you could do that, but you could try.
Why?
It's the government. They can do whatever they
Well, you
want.
can do that with any part of the safety issue on an
Speaking
inspection.
of recalls, Hyundai recalling 44,396.2 crossovers, recommending owners park their vehicle outside after discovering a defect that could cause an electrical short and a thermal event. NHTSA said the recall affects 2018 Santa Fe Sport models produced between May 1st of 2017 through May 10th of 2018 at the Kia Georgia plant in West Point, Georgia. Something going on over there in Georgia, I guess. The new action is in addition to a 500,000 vehicle recall earlier this year affecting a variety of 2016 to 2019 Santa Fe models, as well as 14 to 15 Tucsons, 16 to 18 K900s, and 14 to 16 Sportage models.
Well, at least they spread it around.
They do, yeah. So go to safercar.gov at any point, at any time, type in your VIN number, and it will tell you whether your car has had a recall.
You get a recall. You get a recall.
Everybody
Thanks,
gets a
Oprah.
recall.
So
Yeah.
you heard that the Ford Mustang Mach-E is now going to have an exhaust system put on it. But this isn't like the Chrysler one. This one's a speaker that projects an exhaust noise.
Thank you.
Good for them.
Time now for a quick break. We'll be right back here on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show on iHeartRadio.
Your friends and hosts of the Quarterly Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In at the Lupi Tortilla in Katy want to thank you for participating in this year's events and look forward to another exciting year. You'll hear about the next Tailpipes and Tacos right here and online soon. Next time you're in West Houston, be sure and stop in at the original Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex near I-10 and Highway 6, or the Katy location off I-10 and the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard. Traveling east to Beaumont or northwest to College Station, you'll want to have Lupi's award-winning beef fajitas and frozen margaritas. There's always a celebration at Lupi Tortilla. Lupi founder Stan Holt and his wife Sheila are car people through and through. Both are winning racers on the NHRA drag racing circuit and have a collection of cars that everyone appreciates. You'll see one at the next Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In. The next event will be in the spring at the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex on 99, the Grand Parkway in Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10 in Katy. We'll give you all the details soon here on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show and online. Frozen margaritas. There's always a celebration at Lupi Tortilla. Lupi founder Stan Holt and his wife Sheila are car people through and through. Both are winning racers on the NHRA drag racing circuit and have a collection of cars that everyone appreciates. You'll see one at the next Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In. The next event will be in the spring at the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex on 99, the Grand Parkway in Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10 in Katy. We'll give you all the details soon here on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show and online. Want to take a minute to tell you about Gulf Coast Auto Shield, a Houston detail company like no other. Gulf Coast Auto Shield offers paint correction services that'll give your car, truck, or SUV a like-new shine. Afterwards, you'll want to protect it with a professionally installed nano-ceramic coating or protection film. Worried about your very expensive windshield getting damaged, broken, or cracked? Let Gulf Coast Auto Shield install ExoShield, a windshield protection film. Give John Gray a call today or check out their website, gcautoshield.com. Hey, whether you own a new, ultra-expensive, exotic, or a 5-year-old Suburban, Gulf Coast Auto Shield will help keep your investment looking like the day it rolled off the assembly line. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is conveniently located on the South Sam Houston Parkway, just south of I-69, the Southwest Freeway. Meet the staff and check out all of their services online right now at gcautoshield.com. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show is now part of the iHeart family. Now you'll have access to 24/7 Car Talk anytime you need a fix. Just download the iHeart Radio app and ask for In Wheel Time Car Talk, and there we are. Be sure to save us in your iHeart library for instant access. No matter where you are, you have the best Car Talk Show right on your PC, laptop, or mobile device and never have to worry about finding us again. Of course, you can always get access to our video and audio streams via InWheelTime.com and your favorite podcast channel, and all of this is free to you. Welcome to another In Wheel Time podcast, a 30-minute mini version of the In Wheel Time Car Show that airs live every Saturday morning, 8 to 11 a.m. Central.
Live from the 62nd Annual Autorama at the George R. Brown Convention Center in downtown Houston, Texas. Welcome to the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Just ahead, Bad Chad from Bad Chad Customs, along with Jolene behind the scenes over there taking video. We also are going to look at some of the stories making automotive news headlines a little bit later on in this segment. Howdy, along with Mike Out of This World Mars. We need more, Jeff Zekin.
We do.
And back behind me back here, we have David Ainsley, our chief engineer. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us today. Bad Chad from Nova Scotia. It's so good to have you here.
Thank you.
How's the weather up there and how's the weather down here? Any different?
A little bit.
A little?
Yeah. I kind of noticed the rain when I got here, how we weren't allowed to land the plane. I was thinking if it was Nova Scotia and it was snowing, they say, come on in, come on in. It was just
snow soft,
yeah,
you know?
It was kind of different.
Well, I have to tell you that I am a huge fan of your show.
Yep.
Cool.
And if I had one complaint, it would be I don't know when it's on. And I know that from rumor has it that you're not actually doing the broadcast on Motor Trend Television anymore. What we see today are reruns, if I'm not mistaken.
That's true.
And you've moved over to YouTube and Facebook and have more audience there than you had before.
That's
we
cool.
do.
Yeah. How does that?
Well, the TV thing kind of, when COVID hit, kind of struck us. It struck it hard. We didn't want to continue the contract after COVID. The 35 days to build a car was getting stressful on me.
Really? Wow.
And I didn't really want
Because
that.
of their production time? The TV?
Well, on our show, everything was real when it come to finding the car and building the car. I basically had 3 weeks to build a car from junk to paint.
Oh my gosh.
I had my son that never done a car before. I had a mechanic from a dealership, and I had a wood guy that was a friend of mine. And we tried to build a car in 35 days. We built 14 of them in 14 months. I was proud of the accomplishment, but I had enough.
No kidding.
That's got to be a push.
Yeah, it was. It didn't make a happy Chad. It was a bad Chad.
What were you doing? Putting in 20 hours a day?
Basically, from sun up to sundown, I was out in the shop trying to get it done, basically.
And you have a small shop in comparison to some of the other shops that we see on television.
Yeah, it's exactly like I say on the YouTube channel. It's not the shop that builds the cars; it's the hands.
Yeah,
you can have the biggest shop in the world, and I can build the exact same car in a square box.
Let's get back to your beginnings. Have you always been a car guy?
I have, as a young person. You always look up to the guy that's got the cool car, basically.
Yep.
And I was that guy. I always wanted to have a nice car. I just couldn't afford it.
Now, are you from where you are?
I am from where I am.
We all are.
Yeah.
We're from here.
We're from here, yeah.
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 I lived in Canning, Nova Scotia all my life. I've never moved, never went anywhere. Never had the means to. I just had to make ends meet. And basically that's where what I say is you build with what you have and what you got and do the best you can and work on will and want. And I got a lot of will and want. So basically that's how it started.
And how old were you when you started building customs?
I met Gene Winfield in 2008.
Gotcha.
I worked on cars before that, but it was always to clean them up, take the rust off them, put them back the way they were, and go from there. But when I met Gene, he made a sail panel on a Riviera with a piece of round rod and a sheet of metal, and I was thinking, wow, I like that.
I can do that.
I can do that.
Yeah.
And it just went from there. It just took off.
Well, we're truly amazed at your talent.
Well,
I mean,
thank
you really are a very talented guy. And the visions that you have I don't know where they come from, but man, I'll tell you what, I'll eat whatever you're eating.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, like what you have, what I have around me, is where the vision usually ends or goes. I use what I have, so basically, if I have something, I'm looking at other things I have. How can I put these together, or how can I do this?
Resourceful.
Yeah, I try not to open a catalog to buy something.
Right.
I always think first, can I make it? Can I
Or
build
do
it?
I have it here in the shop
Yeah,
already?
exactly. And that's the way I work.
Yeah, but you still got to have a certain amount of creativity and a vision when you look at something. Because I used to do a lot of photography with cars and stuff, and it was really easy enough, particularly once we went to digital from film, to technically get a good picture. But the composition and the idea of how you're going to frame it, and so you've got to have a certain amount of creativity that a lot of us don't have to be able to do the things you do.
Okay.
Or at least see what you want to do.
Yes, but like I tell everybody, like as a person, what kind of person you want to be, you watch other people and you take from them what you want to be, and you become your own person generally. And what I do is I take from everybody else what everybody else is doing with their cars, and I take what I like and I throw away the rest. And then I basically, when I'm building something, I generally know what I like and what I don't like.
Right.
So that's what I do. I like on the YouTube station, I say take what you like and throw away what you don't, and enjoy.
I've been showing cars since 1977.
Yes.
And one of the things that I learned at my first Autorama that I showed my car at was, man, I like the way that guy did that. And I'll take that vision and I'll say, but I want mine to be just a little bit different than that, and go from there. And that's what you're talking about.
Exactly.
You just move it around just a little bit, change it up a little bit, and make it yours.
Exactly.
I'm a very simple, plain guy. I don't like a lot of stuff on my car. I like a good set of wheels on it. I don't like a lot of flames and all that other stuff.
I agree.
And there were very few people that were doing that when I started in '77. And that's really kind of the same thought process that you have.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Steal from the other guys.
Well,
whatever works for you.
Well, it's creativity. You gotta be creative with it.
What on the automobile has not been done?
Well, that's right.
What has not been done?
I'm
that,
sure there's some things.
I mean, let's 24-inch wheels. Well, they made 30-inch wheels back in the 20s. You know what I mean? They already had an electric car. It's like, for example, King Dig's door handles. They were done in the 60s, in the 50s. You know, I mean, like it's all been done. So basically, we're taking from the past and making it the future again.
You mentioned electric. Is there any plans or visions for electric for you, or to do something,
I would
or
do
modify? Or?
I would do something like that for sure.
Okay.
It's just kind of not available to me yet. Not, it's not available for me. Also, I've been talking to a few people about the electric cars, and a lot of people from Nova Scotia come to, say, Florida they call them snowbirds, I guess.
Right.
It would take them a month to get to Florida because they have to charge up,
or a real long extension cord, one of the two.
Exactly. Like so, it's odd where we're going and what people think what's going to happen, but I would build an electric car for sure.
If you need an alternator, a rebuilt alternator, where do you have to go in your neck of the woods to go? Do you have one locally?
We have a tractor dealership that there's usually a couple guys that can rebuild alternators. So you just take it there and they'll rebuild it for you. Yeah. Basically, I would take an alternator off something else and make a bracket and make it work.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a show, and I can't remember the name of it, that is another Canadian show where these guys are really out in the woods and they have nothing. So whatever it is that they need, they go to a junk pile at the back of somebody's houses and rummage through that and make it work. Maybe it's Alaska. I'm not sure.
Okay.
But whatever the case may be. So that's kind of what you've been doing.
I do a lot of that. Yes, I do. Like I take parts from other cars. I marry cars on top of cars. I cut cars in half. I just try to keep it interesting. But like when I say if I cut a car in half, we did a Cadillac, it's called. We cut it in half and made a two-door Roadster out of it. I used the back window on the front because the back window was shorter. It just looked nicer. But I took the Thunderbird. The Thunderbird's a two-seater Roadster car. Why not make the Cadillac look like that? So I just chopped it in half and kind of give it that short look, and it really turned out.
Just chop it in half.
Yeah, just chop it in half.
Well,
where did you learn your cutting and welding skills?
Through failure.
Really?
Yeah, that's how I learned.
Self-taught.
That's how I learned everything,
Yeah,
through
that's a
failure.
cool answer. Good answer.
I've messed up a lot of stuff, basically.
As we all have.
Well, That's how you learn, is failure.
Yes.
If you don't fail, you're not learning, because there's no learning process in winning all the time. Failure is how you learn. But basically, when I'm welding, stuff like that, if I make a problem area, or I call it a boo-boo, Bob Ross would say a happy little tree. When I make a wrong cut, I will grab a coat hanger and a MIG welder. I do that a lot, and it's just something that necessity, you know. I need to fill that big hole, but I want to keep going forward after I've just, messed something up.
Let me overcome this to get to the next.
That's what I find that I'm really good at, is overcoming things, because I can build something very quick. Like, I can make a car into a truck in less than 30 days by myself, and it's not, I can do it quickly.
What do you have in the shop today?
I'm doing a 35 four-door Dodge car, and I've turned it into a pickup. And I've got 12 days in it, and I've got it almost licked. And I'm making the box, I made the cab, I made basically everything.
It's going to be like a 4-door truck?
No, 2-door, made a 2-door pickup out of it. I chopped the back of it off and took the back window and put it on the back of the car, or the back of the truck now. I made the back cab corners themselves, the upper cab corners, out of the trunk. I made the quarters and the cab corners from scratch. I made the rockers from scratch. And that's what I do on YouTube every day, is I fab that stuff in real time to show people how it's done. So basically I do one fabrication move per day in an hour. So if Bob Ross paints a picture in an hour, I make sure, or try to make sure, that I can make the complete cab corner in an hour, from cutting it to fitting it to welding it, to show how it's done.
Without practicing, rehearsing, or making mistakes.
Or cutting corners.
You just do it all right there in the hour.
Exactly. So basically I'm trying to show people what I can do in real time, so they know what's going on. We don't cut nothing. We don't fake nothing. If I make a mistake, it's called reality.
Or a boo-boo.
Yeah, or a boo-boo. Happy little tree.
So when you say doing it in real time, I mean, are you live streaming it, or are you recording it and then?
We record every day.
Okay.
Jolene films me every day. We've doing it for 2 years now, every day. Haven't missed a day. And we just build cars. So last month I took a 4-door Pontiac and turned it into a 2-door coupe with fades on it, and I Frenched the headlights and did the whole body. And now we're doing a truck. We'll have that done in a couple of days, and then we're going to move on to something else. We just continuously build things.
Now, this is with your team also. They're
No.
part of it, or just you?
Just me.
You are the team.
Well, no.
Kind of
Jolene's the team. I'm just the guy that builds the cars.
And I asked her if she's got her Christmas shopping done, and she said no. So.
Well, we work quite a bit. We work every day. Like, we film every day. We don't take off Saturday, Sunday. Every day is the same. We film every day, and we like it.
What is this, kind of like a holiday for you to come down here and do this show?
Basically.
Yeah.
But we're still working. I mean.
Yes.
We're still working.
Clearly.
Yeah. But we what can I say? I think we're revolutionizing the car world. In our world on social media is kind of, I don't want to hate to say it, but it's taking over, really. I mean, let's face it.
It is.
We whether everybody knows it or not, we get more views than the Discovery and all the car shows put together.
Wow.
Nice.
So basically,
I totally get that.
We are the Kardashians of the car world.
Well, maybe part of that I could go with, but the other part I can't.
Well, okay, we got talent.
There you go.
Yeah.
How did you get discovered? How did the whole television thing get going? Because if it weren't for the television thing, you wouldn't be here. We wouldn't know about you, nothing.
Well, I met this lovely lady named Jolene, and she was younger than me, obviously, and a lot more good-looking. And when I met her, I wanted to get her into what I was doing, and I asked her if she would like me to build her a car, or what kind of car would she like. And I said, you find out what kind of car you like, and I'll build it for you. And she kind of like, okay, yeah. So she come back to me with Ralph Lauren's Bugatti, the $40 million Bugatti. So I made it for her.
Good choice, Jolene.
Very good choice.
So I've built the car. It's in its home. I did it within 4 or 5 months. I built the body, all that sort of stuff. I had a chassis sitting there. I've never finished it. but we're kind of working right now.
But we're car people. We never finish our cars,
exactly.
really.
That's true.
But so I built her this car, this Bugatti, and I think it kind of, I don't know, kind of hit people's imaginations that, wow, someone that can do that and make it that quick. And I've built cars before that. I built the Green Goblin, the car that you sit in the front, the engine's in the back.
Yep.
It's kind of, when you're looking for somebody that can build something on social media, that's where they go nowadays to look for these people. They probably found me building Jolene's car.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And you fit their time frame of being able to do it quick.
Yeah.
For their production cycle. Cause
Well, they learned that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of, it's like the production company said, can you build it? Can you do it in 35 days? I said, I cannot build a car in 35 days. Like, that's unrealistic. Like, it's really unrealistic. But in the end, we did. And I'm so proud of being able to say that I done that.
Yep.
We all know how long it takes to put mud on a car and to make something.
Sure.
I was pulling stuff out of my brain, putting it on metal, and filling it and painting it and having it done, and it was quite something else. Even though it made me mad, Chad, we did it.
Were you bad, Chad, before? No.
I was quite bad as a young person.
Yeah.
Not proud of it, but I learned from it, right?
Yep.
You learn from it. And
Yeah.
and like the old feller I bought my home from, he said, boy, you can change anytime you want to. And nobody can stop that. You're allowed to change anytime.
Because it's you.
Yeah, I've taken some thought and some reflection and changed my life for the good. I don't always have to be bad
Got
all
a little
the time.
help, huh?
I do, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of help.
Yeah, Jolene's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's nice to have someone in your life that can let you know what they want or what they need. To run around in a relationship with your head cut off and not have some person at your partner not tell you what they need and what they want
To
and what they
ground you.
expect.
Yeah.
Exactly. And Jolene was that person to be able to tell me exactly, don't treat me that way. I want to be treated like this. So I know that Jolene is my queen, or that's her name, Queen Jolene, and I treat her that way every day because I want Jolene. And you show the respect, and you know how it goes. You show it, and then you earn it, and then you get it back. Nothing is given, right?
So she was like from your part of the country?
Yes, 10
Yeah.
minutes away.
Oh, okay. So
10
she
minutes.
didn't
So
have
easy
to make any
date
big
night.
adjustments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In a Bugatti.
In a Bugatti, yeah, right.
Yeah, it's going really well, the Bugatti thing. Like, we're doing videos on the veneer and the wood. We're doing videos on the interiors with ostrich. We're doing videos on how I'm putting it together. We did the frame on it. I sandblasted it. I filled it from head to toe and painted it. Well, a lot of people didn't know that you would put fill on a frame, but basically, if you want it smooth and shiny,
That's what you gotta do.
That's what's got to happen. Yeah.
Is your home near the shop, or is it all one big property? Or
Our home is 2 minutes from the shop. We just walk out the door, go to the shop in the back of the yard, and then
Nice.
we go
So
to
it's
work.
all on property.
Our overhead is Jolene's phone bill.
That's perfect.
It is.
And the commute time costs you nothing.
We spend nothing on it to get to work. We live where we work. Our phone bill, Jolene has made it. She's a production manager. She's the editor. She's everything.
She's the boss.
She's the boss. I just go in and do what I love to do, and she
Nice.
films it, and we're able to make a living. And I must tell people out there, there's a living in, being a what do they call that? Internet.
Celeb.
YouTuber.
Yeah, there's money in that. There is.
That's good.
We get paid from Facebook and YouTube.
Very
so you
good.
get monetized, and they pay you. The more.
We're still trying to figure that out
We're working
ourselves.
on that.
Well, you know what? That's what Jolene could help you.
Jolene, well, does she have her own consulting company too?
No, but she has a business degree, do you not? A commerce degree and all that stuff. She's a smart lady, hell of a soccer player, basketball player, very talented, and twice as good looking.
We drink a lot.
Oh, well done.
Exactly. Well, those Canadians, Larry can tell you,
Yeah.
we like a drink now and then.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, for sure.
Well,
Well, that's how I got the name Green Goblin. I used to sell moonshine with green pop. And yeah, you would turn into the Green Goblin by the time you had 4 or 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, we're learning things here, and I'm sure that your viewers are too.
At your local grocery store today.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't from the grocery store.
Yeah, with your welding skills, I'm sure that you use that a time or two.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, listen, it's a real honor and pleasure to see
Thank
you
you.
guys and meet you.
No worries.
And we hope to stay in touch.
All right.
All right, we'll do that. Bad Chad from Bad Chad Customs. How do people get a hold of you? You look up on YouTube?
Check us out on YouTube.
Bad Chad Customs?
Yes. And if building with Bad Chad. Or it's just Bad Chad now.
Bad Chad.
Bad Chad.
Gotcha.
Also, take what you like and throw away what you don't.
I got that.
There you go.
I got that.
Right?
But I was going to put it up on our Facebook page. It's Bad
Chad.
Just Bad Chad. Okay.
I guess that works.
Brett, thank you.
No problem.
We really
Thanks
appreciate
for having me.
Yeah, and thank you, Larry Way, for bringing it. And Jolene, thank you. It's a pleasure to meet you, too. And you'll see her later on. She's over there filming. So.
Well, he's taking her shopping in the Galleria.
Is that what it is?
I think so.
No, Larry's going to have to dump him off over there. Yeah, don't go there. We've got other places for you to go. Thank you again.
Yep.
All right, time now to move on. I got a couple of stories making automotive news headlines this week, and I want to get to that right now, as a matter of fact. Police in Michigan.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Your home state.
Woohoo.
Police in Michigan said a group of more than 20 people broke into a vehicle holding lot last week, had a shootout with a security guard before making off with 13 vehicles, and led officers on a lengthy high-speed chase.
We used to call that Tuesdays.
Did you? I'll bet you did. One of the thieves died after crashing a 2022 Ford Mustang he had taken, according to TV station Fox 2 in Detroit. And students at Oakland University were told to shelter in place for 5 hours after police found another stolen vehicle abandoned on campus and assumed the suspects were still armed. It wasn't clear whether the lot where the vehicles were stolen was affiliated with a dealership or an auto auction. The vehicles taken were expensive, high-powered models from multiple brands.
Wow.
Police recovered 7 of the 13 vehicles, but had located only one suspect, aside from the Mustang driver who died. ABC 12 in Flint reported, they said, large-scale vehicle thefts have become increasingly common in the area, but this was the first incident involving gunfire.
Yeah,
that is very scary.
Pretty bold.
I'll say. But it's getting down to that.
Mm-hmm.
So guard your vehicles is
Yeah.
all I can say.
Yep.
I mentioned this earlier when we were doing our recalls, but Tesla recalling more than 321 U.S. vehicles because taillights may intermittently fail to illuminate, according to the company. The news follows the company's recall on Friday of nearly 30,000 Model X cars in the U.S. over an issue that may cause the front passenger airbag to deploy incorrectly, which sent its shares down almost 3% to a near 2-year low. Texas-based Tesla said it will deploy an over-the-air update to correct the rear light issue and said it has no reports of any crashes or injuries related to the recall. And speaking of Tesla, the rout in Tesla shares is accelerating as a recall and signs of China's return to COVID-0 curbs add to a litany of investor concerns, with Chief Executive Officer Elon Musk focused on turning around Twitter.
What does that mean? Zero?
I guess that in China, if you have COVID, they lock you down.
Oh,
you can't
okay.
go anywhere.
Oh,
do anything.
yeah, they arrest you and
pretty much
put you in your house arrest,
whatever. Electric vehicle makers' stock dropped 6.8% to $167 in New York Monday, the lowest since November of 2020. Trader anxiety was higher after a city near Beijing returned to lockdowns, putting both production and sales at risk. Tesla also initiated a recall of more than 300,000 cars due to faulty taillights. Tesla shares have lost nearly half of their value in less than 2 months as supply chain snarls mount, raw material costs soar, and potential buyers feel the squeeze of stubborn inflation and rising interest rates. Thank you, Joe Biden.
Yeah.
I just threw that in there.
I
That
know.
was an editorial comment. I didn't mean to
You're
offend
allowed.
anybody.
You're allowed.
Yes, I did. I want to apologize, by the way.
Why is that?
Because I sound so bad.
Well, you've been ill. You've had
I've had
stuffiness, cold stuff going around.
Yeah, it's been so bad that I was pretty much off of my feet.
Yeah.
For 3 days.
You did sound terrible when I talked to you.
And I missed some days of work. I mean, I never miss work.
Yep.
But it's been bad. I got up out of bed this morning thinking today is going to be a better day.
Yeah.
Because I get to play with the boys today.
There you go. And we're here to play. We're ready to go. This is really nice around here. We got a good spot again.
I know.
And
we've turned the air conditioning on. Have you noticed that?
Well, yeah.
I'm a bit chilled.
Are you? Look, you should put your jacket on.
I'm going to.
You want a blankie?
I did want to remind no, not right now, thank you. I did want to remind everybody that today here at Autorama, where we're coming to you from, Dave Kindig from Bitch and Rides is going to be here. He's going to be signing autographs at the autograph stage from 1 to
Back
4
yonder.
today. Bad Chad was here yesterday. We just heard
yep.
from. He was on the stage from 1 to 5. So I'm sure as soon as the doors open at 10 o'clock today that the lines will be big back at these.
Well, they got to get through us to get to them.
That's true.
Yeah,
they do.
Because the doors are right there.
Yeah. And if you're wondering where we are inside, because let's face it, George R. Brown is pretty big.
Huge.
If you're wondering where we are, we're right behind the Tremec.com booth, and you can tell by the gear shift knob.
A giant ball in the air.
It's the gear shift knob.
Yeah.
That rotates above the Tremec.
It's huge.
It is, and so it's an easy fix.
Yep.
I think we're between halls C and D.
Yep.
But you can't miss us. Right across the way, as usual, from Craig Bierman's Speed and Sport Chrome Plating and the Too Cool for School bus.
Too Cool for School, and he's got 4 GTs in his booth, along with the chromed products that he has and awards for his shop.
He always manages to bring the electric lawnmower.
Yeah.
The chrome lawnmower.
Maytag lawnmower.
The Maytag
chrome lawnmower.
Bet you didn't know that Maytag actually did a lawnmower.
Well, he had it last year. I didn't know. Last year we knew that.
He's had that thing for years.
Yeah.
That was one of his big chrome plating jobs back in the day.
Mm-hmm. You won't see any lawn crews with that.
No,
lawn
I don't
crews
think
I
so.
see. I don't
no.
know. They wouldn't have that.
It does have a plug on it, though. You have to plug it in. It's not a battery operated.
Oh, so it's like a Hoover.
Kind of. How was your ride, by the way? You need to do something with those headlights on your car.
It's time. So I'm waiting for Conrad to fix his ignition switch, and once he does that, then I'll get my lights fixed.
That's good. I think you need to put those two things together. Maybe y'all could help each other
I hope he's
out.
listening.
Are you kidding? He's out in California.
Yeah, well, it's early there.
It's
6:30,
7:00.
7, 8, yeah.
All right. Well, it is time now for a quick break, and we'll return right after this, right here on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show on iHeartRadio. Stay with us.
Your friends and hosts of the quarterly Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In at the Lupi Tortilla in Katy want to thank you for participating in this year's events and look forward to another exciting year. You'll hear about the next Tailpipes and Tacos right here and online soon. Next time you're in West Houston, be sure and stop in at the original Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex near I-10 and Highway 6, or the Katy location off I-10 and the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard. Traveling east to Beaumont or northwest to College Station, you'll want to have Lupi's award-winning beef fajitas and frozen margaritas. There's always a celebration at Lupi Tortilla. Lupi founder Stan Holt and his wife Sheila are car people through and through. Both are winning racers on the NHRA drag racing circuit and have a collection of cars that everyone appreciates. You'll see one at the next Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In. The next event will be in the spring at the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex on 99, the Grand Parkway and Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10 and Katy. We'll give you all the details soon here on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show and online. Frozen margaritas. There's always a celebration at Lupi Tortilla. Lupi founder Stan Holt and his wife Sheila are car people through and through. Both are winning racers on the NHRA drag racing circuit and have a collection of cars that everyone appreciates. You'll see one at the next Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In. The next event will be in the spring at the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex on 99, the Grand Parkway and Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10 and Katy. We'll give you all the details soon here on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show and online. Want to take a minute to tell you about Gulf Coast Auto Shield, a Houston detail company like no other. Gulf Coast Auto Shield offers paint correction services that'll give your car, truck, or SUV a like-new shine. Afterwards, You'll want to protect it with a professionally installed nano-ceramic coating or protection film. Worried about your very expensive windshield getting damaged, broken, or cracked? Let Gulf Coast Auto Shield install ExoShield, a windshield protection film. Give John Gray a call today or check out their website, gcautoshield.com. Hey, whether you own a new, ultra-expensive, exotic, or a 5-year-old Suburban, Gulf Coast Auto Shield will help keep your investment looking like the day it rolled off the assembly line. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is conveniently located on the South Sam Houston Parkway, just south of I-69, the Southwest Freeway. Meet the staff and check out all of their services online right now at gcautoshield.com. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show is now part of the iHeart family. Now you'll have access to 24/7 Car Talk anytime you need a fix. Just download the iHeart Radio app and ask for In Wheel Time Car Talk, and there we are. Be sure to save us in your iHeart library for instant access. No matter where you are, you have the best Car Talk Show right on your PC, laptop, or mobile device and never have to worry about finding us again. Of course, you can always get access to our video and audio streams via InWheelTime.com and your favorite podcast channel, and all of this is free to you.
From Woody's Waterfront Car Show in San Leon, Texas, it's the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Just ahead, more car talk from the motorheads you've come to love and appreciate, and participants from today's show. Later, Conrad will have This Week in Auto History. We'll get you updated on the stories making car news this week as well. Howdy, along with Mike Out of This World, King Conrad DeLong. We need more Jeff Zekin.
I'm over here.
The fabulous David Ainsley. And let's not forget, Jeff Heitzman has come to support the show today.
Yay.
We appreciate it. I'm Don Armstrong. Mr. Marza, looks like we got a little special surprise guest.
Yes, we talk to him once or twice a year, every year.
What?
God's Garage, because we need all the help we can get for sure. And we finally get to meet Brad Thompson in real.
And
he's here.
So I saw you guys are going to be down here. We actually, my wife and I own a lot over here in San Leon. We're about to build a house.
Oh.
So we come down here. We park our motorhome on the lot. We look at. I saw you're going to be here, so I put a note on Facebook. Hey, special guest appearance by Brad Thompson. You do not invite yourself on a show without bringing gifts.
Yes, that's exactly. Thank you so much.
So you guys can divvy those hats up.
Thank you very much.
And I just wanted to come meet you guys in person and say thank you for having us on your show. All the exposure we get with God's Garage, the fact that we get to take in donated vehicles and then fix them and give them away to single moms is a tremendous thing to get to do. But then to have the attention of guys like you that, can seek us out and say, hey, we think what you do is really neat. Come be on our show.
Well, we appreciate it.
Oh, no, we appreciate it. We're very grateful to get a chance to do this.
What are you working on in the garage today?
Oh, gosh. We give away, 10 to 15 cars a month.
Wow.
So, yeah, we're going to do probably a little bit.
Turn them pretty quick.
We're going to do a little over 100 this year. As a matter of fact, I'll send you a picture of the new garage being built. We're still looking at probably about the end of the year. We do little Facebook updates on those, and we would love to have you guys come out and do a show from inside a garage. This is a beautiful setting, but man, the wind's kicking through here.
Listen, we're very demanding, and you must have a palapa outside, the party palapa at God's Garage.
Can you give me a resource where I can find a party palapa?
I know people.
Okay.
We can't even spell it.
He does.
I can't either. I have no idea what it is.
Can do a palapa, but he knows people.
I have no idea what it is, so that's why.
I think it's a sandwich.
Well,
That's
and the
a
other
falafel.
thing is, any of our listeners that are interested, it's godsgarage.org, O-R-G. If you want to support the program, jump on there, and there's a donation page as well.
Yeah, it is. And donate your vehicle, and, we'll take good care of it. We'll make you proud of it. And if we can, you can come be part of it when we give it away, which is amazing. Yeah. But thank you guys.
Thank you.
I don't want to crash the show, but I did bring hats, so I know better.
Yeah, you're
Party
good.
crasher.
And it's good to meet you guys all
Good
in
to
person.
see you.
Right.
Good to see you. Thank you.
You bet.
Okay, we also have another guest down here at the end. And Mr. Marza, would you please do the introduction there, please?
Yes, sir.
As you were going to walk off.
Yeah, everybody that has came in. We came in early this morning. We saw this gold car up there, and nobody knew really what it was, but it's obviously
gold.
It's a custom, a Barris custom, a 1967 Tornado custom, and it belongs to Roman Corpus, sitting right here.
Roman.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for joining us. And apparently I owe you, according to Conrad, an apology because I called your car weird. Has anybody ever called your car weird?
There's been a number of different comments made, different definitions.
Well,
for it,
I mean, weird is not, to me, the definition of weird is
Yeah, you call me
unique.
weird all the time.
Well, unique. I mean, we could come up with lots of them. I
Sure.
could look it all up on there, but weird's one. I've never seen a car like it. It's weird.
It's weird, both that and unique. You know, that's the nice thing about it.
Well, I know. I mean, and listen, for those of us that are in the custom car business and we like custom cars, weird is good because it's unique. I've never seen anything like it before. Tell us what it is.
No, you're definitely right, 100%. It's got some unique looks to it, the dimensions, the lines, and everything with it.
And the fender.
Oh,
fenders.
it just busts right out.
It does.
You know, it's typical George Barris from late '60s and early '70s with what he built. So
Yeah,
this
with the
vehicle-
exaggerated lines.
Yeah, that's exactly it. You know, everything's just basically it's almost on steroids with what he did. You know, he gets a unique vision, then he starts working with it. So this vehicle was actually designed by him and built. There was 4 of them that were manufactured for Imperial Oil up in Canada.
Imperial Oil.
Yeah, which is Exxon's division up in Canada. So it's,
Are you from Canada?
I grew up in Canada.
I could tell by that accent. Did you play hockey?
Always have to play hockey. It's like playing baseball or football down here. You know, that's all it is.
You know, I'm a big hockey fan. Huge.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
It's the only sport where you can get in a fight and just get a penalty. Not
Well,
thrown out.
you know, I've always been a Gordie Howe is my hero. And then when he played with his sons with the Houston Aeros, that I know going off topic.
I actually went to a fight and a hockey game broke out.
That's exactly how it happens.
And I bet you played hockey yourself.
Oh, I sure did, and I'm paying for it today.
I'll bet you are. Yeah. Well, that's good. Well, you sir are my hero.
So tell us more about the car.
Yeah, so the vehicle basically, like I said, Imperial Oil contracted George Barris to manufacture 4 of them, of which this is one of 3 still in existence. There's 2 up in Canada, but this one's been in our family since 1968.
Oh, my God.
Yeah,
wow.
so
So you
basically
guys
it was
got
a
it
year old.
early.
Yeah, and just maintain it from there and
Did
everything.
you buy it from the oil company?
No, we did not. What it was is basically people's names were put into a raffle. It was a whole entire full year.
Oh, my
of
gosh, it's a
celebration.
raffle car?
Yeah, yeah. You know, so they just went right out and did all that. So anybody who bought fuel, through Imperial Oil, they could do that, and they get into the raffle. They put their name in, so then it was drawn and presented to these people throughout the year and everything. Now, the way we acquired it is my sister's godfather, friend of my dad. He was ferrying it to get it sold in another area of the country, and lo and behold, sure enough, he comes home one night and talks to my mom about it, and she goes, "Yeah, let's buy it. It's weird."
It's weird. Thank you. Thank you. Did you hear that, Conrad?
Yes, I did.
Okay. He always corrects me, and that's fine. But I'm
so
sorry.
the base starting car, and I'm an Oldsmobile fanatic.
There you go.
I worked for Oldsmobile for 25 years. But the base car is a 67 Tornado.
That is correct, yeah.
So 425.
Yes.
425 transmission.
The 400 transmission.
Well,
but yeah,
425 when they turned it.
Yeah, that
sideways.
thing's kind of unique because it's all gear driven. We had it torn apart, and you would think it's something industrial out for marine applications. The way that transmission's all set up, because nowadays it's just water and clutches. Well, not water, but fluids. That thing had a full chain. Just you take a bicycle chain, but make it about 80 pounds heavy.
And if I remember correctly, kind of a unique back seat.
This one here has been stretched 15 inches. So with that, being front wheel drive, you've got the flat floor, which is nice, gives you all that space. So what they did is they've got a single seat on the one side with a fold up card table, of which the passenger side front seat can turn around 180 degrees.
Oh my God!
Because these were designed to
to go to drive-ins is what they were designed to do.
That's exactly it. Well, that was the back part of it. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, there's even a nice chest in the back. AM/FM radio on the front and back with 8-track.
Oh my God! It's a party car.
That's it. And then the other back seat is actually a wraparound seat, so it's wrapped around with a curve 90 degrees.
How cool is that?
Yeah,
Kind of like the couch.
Yes, exactly.
The curved couch.
That is bizarre because it doesn't look like it's been stretched.
No, it was fantastic. You can see the photos. Go ahead.
I was going to say, if you get to the side of it, because I was eavesdropping while he was explaining how the windows work, there's actually an extra window in there. You got the door window, then there's another window, then there's the back window, and that's where you can see the stretch.
I got you.
Where the stretch is between the end of the front door
in the beginning of the quarter glass.
Well, I don't
So
know about that,
right.
but you can see it because of the glass. You can realize it's stretched.
Yeah, and then basically the other thing is just continuing on with that. There's a lot more fiberglass work because typically they're always built out of metal, but basically the front and rear panels on that vehicle are all fiberglass, so they're hand molded and formed that way through Barris and his crew. And when we got into working with it on the restoration, that was the biggest thing that you'd seen is basically they just took a mold and just started shaving it down and contouring whatever lines they wanted. That's all it was.
Wouldn't you love to have been working in the Barris studios back then? Having 4 of those things lined up in there, working them all at the same time? Oh, my gosh. How much fun would that be?
So the upper rear quarter panels, what are called the flying buttresses.
Yep.
Those are glass or those are steel?
There's the transition pieces right around that area. I don't know exactly where that line is, but it does come down and go in between the two. So basically, we walk over there.
Because I know that's quite different from the Toronado,
yeah.
which basically the glass was flat and wrapped around the C-pillar, where this, they actually extended those buttresses out a little bit. And then it's also got a rear spoiler on it.
It does. It's unique that way. It's got the little lip that just curves up, 2-3 inches on it. It's just got that a lot of uniqueness to it. In doing the restoration, the gentlemen who were working on it, they identified a lot of things that they see being done today, and they feel that was the origin of it. People took some stuff off of Barris, just coming down to the door handles, even everything like that, because they are flush with the vehicle.
Okay.
Push with your thumb. Yeah, you push with your thumb, and then you pull the handle, and you see that.
Seeing Dave Kindig thinks he's cool.
That's exactly
George
it.
Barris did it back in '67.
There you go.
Tail lights.
There you go.
The
Yes.
tail lights are definitely unique.
Yes, and they're sequential, so they basically like the old Mustangs. Yes, exactly.
Well, why doesn't that surprise me? Now, have you ever shown this at like Autorama?
You know what? This thing just came out of the shop after 2-year restoration. So this is we had it in Galveston the other week for Moody. They had an inaugural.
Are you going to bring it to Autorama?
We're talking about it. Yeah,
you should. Yeah.
Yeah, most definitely.
Now you trailered this in.
We did. Yeah, I did today. Yeah,
I would.
Yeah, exactly. That's I'm located in League City, and that's all the work was done through Kima, that area. And
I think that car would be a perfect fit for Autorama. To reintroduce a real Barris car that hasn't been changed since Barris made it.
Right.
I mean, is this even the original color that it was?
This is original color. They had the 4 of them, of which 2 of them were gold, 1 was burgundy, and then 1 was olive. So we went back to original color as much as we could on this one here, paint match it and everything, and then the interior is actually still all original. Just cleaned it up and everything.
Really?
But the shag carpet right down to that.
Yeah,
baby.
baby.
There you go.
Oh, how cool is that?
What do you do for a living?
I work in the refinery industry. We do maintenance within the refineries, and I moved down here 25 years ago from Canada with work, and got out of the snow.
Yeah.
Aren't you glad?
Got out of the snow and into the fire.
Well, and that's exactly it. The one thing about the snow, you can just work harder and put clothing on. Once you get down here and you're hot, you can't peel down too far.
Oh yeah, you can.
But you don't want to know about that.
Yeah.
We're a weird bunch on this show.
So suspensions all original Toronado.
Yes.
All they did was cut in the middle and extended it.
That is correct. You can actually see on the very front clip, it's when they removed it, you can see the original panels where they just cut off the front quarters and just pounded them in with hammers just to be able to make that fiberglass fit around it.
Well, and those front fenders are quite unique.
They're huge.
How they kind of pontooned them even to a degree, which to me kind of brings in some of that 30s style.
Sure.
As well, but how big they are. How wonderful is that? Now, I have seen, I don't know that it was yours, but I have seen this car, one of the others maybe, that has kind of floated around in the Oldsmobile world through the years. But this is my first time to take an up-close look, and before I get out of here, I'm going to take some pictures, and if you don't mind, I'm going to post them on the Oldsmobile Club of America
Sure,
page.
No, I'd be privileged for that, yeah.
How cool is that? And when we get the podcast of this interview done, I'm going to go ahead and post that up as well.
Yeah, no.
I'm impressed. I mean, when I first saw the car driving up, I'm like, is it really? No, couldn't be. There aren't very many of them. And then to find out that it is one of those George Barris cars. That is just way too cool.
Yeah,
It truly is. I've obviously never seen one. It's weird.
you're gonna have to get him ball cap with that on it. It's weird.
No, he's got other stuff that says I'm weird. He doesn't need to go to Austin to be weird. He can be weird all by himself.
Thank you.
Most places, of course.
So, but your family has had this car since '68.
That is correct.
That in itself
that
is
is a
amazing.
story to itself.
Yeah.
And you hauled it down here from Canada.
I sure did, yeah. I had it under tarps and everything. A number of people asked me if I actually had 2 vehicles underneath there, just because of the length of it. And it's like,
see, to me, sitting here, which really isn't a fair observation, but to me, sitting here, it's not that far off from the original size of the car.
It's
9 inches longer, you said?
It's 15 inch
Oh,
stretch.
15 inches.
Yeah, and then you go with the bumperettes at each end, and this car's just sitting a little over 21 feet.
Are those original wheel covers?
Those, no, they're actually, each of the vehicles have got some unique abilities to them. So this one here is more custom than the other ones. The other ones that I've looked at and we've discussed and seen, some of them look like they're factory, but these ones here, just really couldn't identify them because they're actually 2-piece. They come apart with that
Really?
center hub, yeah.
Because you have to correct me if I'm wrong, but if I remember correctly, the Tornados had wheel covers that were kind of stood off from the wheel, I guess, because of the drive hub.
Oh yeah, because the offset of the top of the wheel is the flange to mount the wheel to the hubs is way out there, and then the tires and the offset of the wheels are inboard, which is very unusual because of the front wheel drive system in it.
Yeah, definitely correct. Yeah.
How did I remember
have you
that?
seen the other 2 cars?
I have not. The one that I had seen, it might be the one you referred to, was sold 8-10 years ago to St. Louis, I believe. They did a restoration here. It went back up into Western Canada. And the other one, from what's been identified, it's in Eastern Canada. It's been in a family since the mid-'80s or something like that.
So who did the restoration work for you?
Creative Classics and Customs in Kemah. They're the ones. And then also Kemah Automotive did the driveline, electrical. Both of those 2 facilities are basically, they're just across the street from each other. I've worked with Creative Classics before, and identifying someone who can do the fiberglass work, that was probably the big thing. The thing that I really enjoyed talking with John Harden on it was initially when they looked at the vehicle, he already had a plan as to how to take off that front clip. Because basically you've got the hood, but then the fenders and the front were all one piece.
Oh, wow.
And fiberglass. So he was like, we need to make a jig to be able to remove this and take it off. And
without damaging it, yeah.
Do you have it insured with Haggerty?
No, I went through numerous other facilities on that one there, but no, not right now with that one. That was just fresh, so I just got it punched out pretty quick.
What is something valued at like that?
You know, it's one of those things. Being a weird vehicle, it's in the eye of the beholder.
Well, you know who the man is Woody. He would be.
Woody actually did, yeah, he did an appraisal for me on that about 4 months ago, and we're 6 figures.
No doubt.
And I had seen the appraisal on it. I'm just stunned to see the car. Thank you so much for bringing it out. And like I said, are you going to be here through the end of the show?
I'm here for it today. Yep.
You're here for the awards.
Yes, sir.
And I will definitely make my way over to it and take some cool pictures of it. That is
so unique, so different.
Yeah, just breathtaking.
Well, we sure appreciate you stopping by. It's great talking to you.
Hey.
Oh,
gosh.
I don't know if I pulled that up or not.
No, you haven't used that yet.
It's the out and about. That's what
it's out and about.
No,
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Thank you. It's a pleasure meeting you. Okay, time now for This Week in Auto History. Conrad, we love auto history, and I know that you've started off with something unique and fun.
Well, in 1908, William Durant.
I remember it well.
He merged Buick and Oldsmobile into General Motors, later adding Cadillac for $4.4 million, and then adding Oakland. But he also had a number of parts suppliers, one of them being AC spark plugs, and that all became General Motors. And then in 1925, construction on the infamous Nürburgring racing circuit was completed, and it was referred to as the Green Hell.
Why?
Well, it's a 12.9-mile course through the Eiffel Forest in Germany with some of the most dangerous road segments on the planet, curving around 73 corners in that 12.9 miles and changing elevation about 1,000 feet.
1,000 feet.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now, one of the cool things about it today, there are actually what they call ring taxis. These guys take you out in these hot-rodded BMWs as a driver, and they drive the ring all the time, so they know the course quite well. And you ride as a passenger and scream like a 7-year-old girl
Like
on
I
a
do
roller
anyway.
coaster.
Have you ever ridden with Don?
And that would be a fun ride, because I wouldn't want to drive it not knowing the
Hell
course, but to get in it with somebody who knows the course
Yeah.
would be a totally fun ride.
Yes, absolutely.
And there's, they still use the ring today. A lot of
How much that
manufacturers.
costs.
Not real sure. I should have looked that up.
Next week.
A lot of manufacturers still use the ring today
Yep.
to test their vehicles on it. Corvette has been on it a number of times as well. In 1928, work began on Chicago's new Galvin Manufacturing Corporation. The company had officially incorporated the day before. In 1930, Galvin would introduce the Motorola radio, the first mass-produced commercial car radio. The name has two parts: motor, which evokes cars and transportation, and Ola.
Hola.
It's not Ola the way you think of it, but that was derived from Victrola, which many people in those days thought of as the music.
If you're not seeing the picture, but don't let Mike see it, because he'll be buying wires for it.
He'll be buying something.
But this is a tubed radio.
Right.
You remember
Oh,
tubes,
God,
Don.
yes.
Yep.
In 1937, Duesenbergs were considered the most luxurious car in the world. Handcrafted and custom made, heated as the epitome of flamboyance and elegance. The clientele of Duesenbergs were the rich and famous through the years, with Clark Gable and a number of those other Hollywood types.
Don Armstrong.
Yeah. And that's where the expression came from, that it's a doozy. That expression came from it's a Duesenberg, and they called it it's a doozy because that was
Blinded by the light.
The best of the best.
Yep.
Because I was blinded by the light.
Well, you were blinded by something else, but second thing to go. In 1948, Honda Motor Company incorporated and developed a motorized bicycle powered by Honda's first mass-produced engine. The success of the bicycle led to a small truck, and now I say small truck, I mean super small truck, like a micro-size truck.
Like a Love.
Right. And the T60 truck appeared in 1963, and then they started with the S500 Roadster, which is quite collectible today, the little two-seat, kind of like a British MG-looking Roadster. In 1955, This week was when James Dean was killed in Cholome, California.
Where?
Driving his
Cholome,
Cholame. I've driven through it. There's a memorial and everything there. It's on the way to Paso Robles.
Mm-hmm.
And that was where he'd passed away.
You're so worldly. You go to all these.
I have my moments. Yeah. And 1978, car and driver editor Don Sherman set a Class E record at the Bonneville Salt Flats during driving a Mazda RX-7, the standard bearer for rotary engines in the U.S. market. Now, the interesting thing is when you look at this car, he went 183.9 miles an hour in a Mazda RX-7.
No.
And it didn't have all of the crazy aerodynamic features on it that you would think it did. It was basically a stock body. It didn't have any big wing or big front spoiler on it.
And it wasn't rusted yet.
Well, not yet, but I'm sure it sounded like a bumblebee going down the highway. And then did you get my sound? Did you read my text?
I'm sorry.
In 1982, the first episode of Knight Rider aired, starring who? David Hasselhoff as a private eye, Michael Knight. However, the real star of the show was KITT, the talking car and modified Pontiac Firebird. And what did KITT stand for?
Knight Industry
2000.
KITT.
KITT.
Yeah.
Knight Industry 2000. Okay.
So
okay.
that is this week in auto history.
Hubba hubba.
2000.
And a hubba hubba.
Oh, God. All right. Thank you. And I'm sorry I didn't get your music.
We were supposed to hear the music of Knight Rider.
I know, but I was consumed with other stuff yesterday, and I didn't have time to download it.
It's your fault.
It is. Actually, no, it wasn't her fault. She didn't join the party until later in the day.
Okay.
Time now for some of the recalls and news headlines making stories this week. Battery electrode is improperly sized on the BMW 745e for 22.
What?
The 22. Yeah, battery electrode is improperly sized. Okay.
Well, they're calling it an electrode. I think it's the post on the battery.
Do they still have posts? Do
Oh,
they
yeah.
put post batteries in a 745e?
Yeah.
How old school and cheap is that?
Well, you got to remember, it's only been two types of batteries. There's been a side post and a top post. They still use top post. Heck, General Motors used side post batteries for 20 years and never did get it right.
Yep.
They all leaked.
We just put a top post battery in Kathy's car.
Do you own a 2022 Ford F-150? Well, improper airbag deployment has recalled your car, truck. Ford Motor Company fuel line may be loose on the Explorer and the Ranger for 2022.
Causing a thermal event.
And parking lights may flicker on the Ford Bronco and the F-150 for the 22 and 23 model years. You know, that has become a huge story and a thorn in Ford's side with all of these recalls and crap that they're turning out. It's a problem. There's lots of news stories about it. And now the CEO of the company is going, we got to get this right because it's costing us millions and millions of dollars per car in recall fees. It's dumb. Nissan Kicks and the Nissan Versa for 2021 could feel the loss of a power steering assist. And I think Tesla Model 3, S, X, and Y, 2017 to 2022, the power windows may pinch your arm off if you stick your arm in there and try to roll up the window because it doesn't automatically go back down when it feels that you've got an arm in there.
Huh.
Yeah, saw your arm right off. Kia Sorento, Sorento Hybrid, PHEV, and Sportage from 2016 to 2022. Tow hitch harness fire while parked or driving. Can you imagine going down the highway and you see
whatever your
all
tow
of
is on fire?
No, well, either that or just the hitch itself not even hooked up to anything. You got a flame shooting out the back end. Now, and this is before you went to the Mexican food place on Friday night.
I call that Tuesday. That's Taco Tuesday.
Yeah, Taco Tuesday. All right. Time now for a quick break. We are coming to you live from Woody's Waterfront Car Show in San Leon. You're on the In-Wheel Time.
Your friends and hosts of the Quarterly Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In at the Lupi Tortilla in Katy want to thank you for participating in this year's events and look forward to another exciting year. You'll hear about the next Tailpipes and Tacos right here and online soon. Next time you're in West Houston, be sure and stop in at the original Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex near I-10 and Highway 6 or the Katy location off I-10 and the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard. Traveling east to Beaumont or northwest to College Station, you'll want to have Lupi's award-winning beef fajitas and frozen margaritas. There's always a celebration at Lupi Tortilla. Lupi founder Stan Holt and his wife Sheila are car people through and through. Both are winning racers on the NHRA drag racing circuit and have a collection of cars that everyone appreciates. You'll see one at the next Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In. The next event will be in the spring at the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex on 99, the Grand Parkway and Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10 in Katy. We'll give you all the details soon here on the In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show and online. Frozen margaritas. There's always a celebration at Lupi Tortilla. Lupi founder Stan Holt and his wife Sheila are car people through and through. Both are winning racers on the NHRA drag racing circuit and have a collection of cars that everyone appreciates. You'll see one at the next Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In. The next event will be in the spring at the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex on 99, the Grand Parkway and Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10 in Katy. We'll give you all the details soon here on the In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show and online. Want to take a minute to tell you about Gulf Coast Auto Shield, a Houston detail company like no other. Gulf Coast Auto Shield offers paint correction services that'll give your car, truck, or SUV a like-new shine. Afterwards, you'll want to protect it with a professionally installed nano-ceramic coating or protection film. Worried about your very expensive windshield getting damaged, broken, or cracked? Let Gulf Coast Auto Shield install ExoShield, a windshield protection film. Give John Gray a call today or check out their website, gcautoshield.com. Hey, whether you own a new, ultra-expensive, exotic, or a 5-year-old Suburban, Gulf Coast Auto Shield will help keep your investment looking like the day it rolled off the assembly line. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is conveniently located on the South Sam Houston Parkway, just south of I-69, the Southwest Freeway. Meet the staff and check out all of their services online right now at gcautoshield.com. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show is now part of the iHeart family. Now you'll have access to 24/7 Car Talk anytime you need a fix. Just download the iHeart Radio app and ask for In Wheel Time Car Talk, and there we are. Be sure to save us in your iHeart library for instant access. No matter where you are, you have the best Car Talk Show right on your PC, laptop, or mobile device and never have to worry about finding us again. Of course, you can always get access to our video and audio streams via InWheelTime.com and your favorite podcast channel, and all of this is free to you.